The text introduces Ayakashi as spirits feared by many, invisible to the common eye, and regarded in Japanese tradition as the cause of mysterious phenomena that exceed human knowledge. A young woman announces to everyone that dinner is ready, thinking to herself about the Ayakashi living here. Around a low table, the woman and the Ayakashi are happily gathered for dinner, with one of the spirits exclaiming that the Ayakashi living here are nothing to be afraid of, while another says they are starving and asks to eat already, and a third asks for seconds. Two young women, one with cat ears, are shown standing outside in a bright, scenic setting. A light-haired woman in a white and blue kimono-like outfit stands with a blonde-haired Ayakashi with fox ears and tail, who is wearing a red and white outfit and is carrying a small girl on her back. The title, Ayakashiko, is presented in a Japanese script. A clean drawing of a room with a round wooden table is shown. The story establishes the setting as a mansion in the historical downtown of Asakusa, where Ayakashi can live together, otherwise known as Ayakashiso. A tiny, light-haired girl expresses frustration with an ACK as she struggles with a piece of food on her plate, which is then flicked away by a pair of chopsticks. The main girl, Mahoro, asks the frustrated Ayakashi what she thinks she's doing while other Ayakashi are already eating. Mahoro scolds the fox-eared Mahoro-san for wanting steak tomorrow after already having 3 servings, then asks if she's still hungry after being asked for another serving of what is presumably mackerel. Mahoro holds up a bowl of rice and firmly tells the other Ayakashi that she can't afford luxuries, that they can't get éclair desserts, and that they shouldn't be influenced by Western culture, demanding that as Ayakashi they should shut up and eat Japanese food. One of the short-haired Ayakashi, Yukaime, questions if Ayakashi really need to eat since they are ghosts after all, which leads Mahoro to realize the gravity of her statement. The youngest Ayakashi, Ki, as the Shikiwarashi, household ghost, happily chimes in that cream puffs are good too, revealing that there are 3 Ayakashi living at Ayakashiso. The other 2 Ayakashi are introduced: Yukaime, a smiling Yukiana, snow woman, and Kuko, a solemn-looking kitsune, fox spirit, who is tired of eating manju. Mahoro introduces herself as Mayatsuka Mahoro, a 16-year-old human who is the manager of the residence along with the Ayakashi. The scene shifts to Mahoro reflecting that her grandmother was the manager until she passed away half a year ago, and Mahoro took the job to prevent the place from getting demolished. Sighing, Mahoro wonders why she, a high school student, decided to take on the job, especially as Ki runs off, refusing to take her dishes to the sink because her show is about to start. Mahoro's grandmother, in a flashback, reflects that when she was young, she couldn't make friends because of her affinity with the supernatural, and so she spent a lot of time with her own grandmother, thinking about how lively the mansion is with Ayakashi living there. The grandmother tells a younger Mahoro that she doesn't have the power to see them like Meiho-chan. The grandmother clarifies that she can, however, feel their presence. She explains that even if she can't see or talk to the Ayakashi, she never feels alone because they are there. The young Mahoro's eyes are shown as she absorbs her grandmother's words. The grandmother finishes a calligraphy piece on a wooden plaque, announcing it as their new nameplate. The name on the plate is revealed to be Ayakashiso, which the grandmother happily explains means the Ayakashi will have a permanent place to live from that day onward, thinking that freeloading forever is just sad. The grandmother wonders what Mahoro-chan thinks of the name, noting that it might be a little too simple though, as the Ayakashi secretly watch, seemingly happy due to the grandmother's kindness. The present-day reality for Mahoro is a struggle with cooking, and the difficulty of cleaning a place that is too big, and the constant worry about finances, complaining to Yukaime that the Ayakashi don't pay rent and getting the simple reply that they are Ayakashi. Mahoro sits outside, fanning herself, lamenting that it's hot, but that's just because it's summer. The heat is interrupted by Ki, who demands ice cream, not understanding Mahoro's frustration over the fact that she just ate, stating that Ayakashi can't even feel the heat. Kuko then appears and insists that the ice cream must be Haagen-Dazs, making Mahoro question where she learned about such an expensive brand. Mahoro reluctantly gives in with a sigh, deciding that it can't be helped and she will go buy some ice cream. She finds herself out in a busy, modern town square of Asakusa, seeing a pagoda in the distance. As Mahoro walks with her shopping bag, she is exasperated that all the Ayakashi insisted on coming along. Yukaime cheerfully says it's fun going out together, while Kuko states she is only there to make sure Mahoro buys the right stuff, with Mahoro thinking Kuko is going to be disappointed. Yukaime notices that there are a lot of people out today and points at a sign as the reason why. The sign is advertising the Sumidagawa fireworks exhibition starting tonight, causing Mahoro to realize she should get home because more people are coming. 3 other young people are seen nearby, with one commenting on Mahoro's cute face but calling her companion bad news, and another calling her the ghost girl. Mahoro says it's fine and that this sort of thing happens all the time, while a furious-looking Kuko glares and huffs at the comment. Kuko asks if Mahoro wants her to teach them a lesson, but Mahoro cuts her off and firmly tells her to stop, explaining that if anything unusual happens, they'll blame it all on her. Ki wonders if humans are difficult, to which Mahoro replies not at all. Mahoro gives a warm, small smile, saying that besides the difficulties, she has her Ayakashi friends. Kuko is still determined, asking if Mahoro is sure she doesn't want to talk with them, as Ki looks on with concern and Mahoro again asks them to stop. On their walk home, one of the girls comments that Ki is tired, and the other says Ki is heavy. The group stops, and the girls look around, with Mahoro asking huh. Mahoro wonders if what she is seeing is what she thinks it is. A girl with black hair and cat ears is seen crying as she asks, "Are you lost, Wani-chan?" The girl cries, rubbing her eyes. The cat-eared girl asks if the others can see her, which Mahoro's group confirms they can, leading the cat-eared girl to weep with relief, but Mahoro's group asks if she's hungry and says she'll scare her. The cat-eared girl cries that she is, finally, saved, while a small Mahoro is delighted and confirms it with a "YUP." The cat-eared girl sobs that she is saved. Mahoro's expression changes, realizing the girl has just transformed and is confused, but the cat-eared girl, crying, explains that no one could see or hear her. Mahoro confirms that the girl has transformed into something they call an Ayakashi, a term which the cat-eared girl repeats, confused. Mahoro identifies the girl as a Nikomata, which is a cat that has lived long enough to take on human form, prompting the Nikomata girl to ask what Mahoro means, insisting she's just a normal cat. Mahoro says she doesn't really get it but should do something about this for the time being. The cat-eared girl screams in horror as her cat self's shadow detaches from her body. Mahoro tells her they should hurry up and bury the cat shadow, to which the cat-eared girl cries that she's dead. The others invite the new Ayakashi to come with them. The chapter closes on a peaceful image of flowers and the roof of the Ayakashiso. The newly transformed Nikomata apologizes to the group, saying she knows it sounds weird for making them go through all the trouble. Mahoro reassures her that it is okay to laugh, explaining that the dark suggestion of burying the cat self was an Ayakashi joke since they are Ayakashi and have all died before, though Mahoro thinks that Kuko-chan always takes it too far. The Nikomata timidly asks if she can ask a question. The Nikomata then directly asks the other Ayakashi what they do after they become an Ayakashi. Yukaim shrugs and replies that they sleep, while Kuko simply states they eat, causing Mahoro to sigh in exasperation at their answers. The Nikomata looks dejected, explaining that humans ignore her and all the cats in the neighborhood are threatened by her, wondering what she should do from now on. Tears well up in the Nikomata's eyes as she says she feels like a bother and is all by herself, wondering if she should have just passed on instead of transforming. She sadly confesses to the group that she didn't want to become an Ayakashi. Mahoro offers a solution, asking the Nikomata what she thinks about living here. Mahoro explains there's a spare room and that as the manager, she doesn't mind at all having her stay, which surprises the Ayakashi with a loud, "What?" Mahoro confidently says that it looks like she's got everyone's approval, which makes Yukaim happily say it's a nice idea and the Nikomata girl is very welcome here, although she whispers that Kuko-chan can be scary. The Nikomata looks thoughtfully at Mahoro, who is now sitting, and asks what kind of place Ayakashiso is. Mahoro asks the girl what her name is, and the Nikomata softly replies that her name is Nene. Mahoro smiles a soft welcome, greeting Nene to Ayakashiso. With a kind and open smile, Mahoro declares to Nene that she is part of the family now. The group of 4 Ayakashi and Mahoro stand together, looking up as fireworks light the night sky above the trees. Ki excitedly points out that the fireworks started. The Ayakashi watch the fireworks, their attention drawn to the dazzling display. Kuko holds Ki close while Yukaim smiles widely as they all share the moment of the fireworks show. Nene looks up, realizing with relief that Ayakashi aren't alone. Mahoro tells her that perhaps humans and Ayakashi were incompatible originally, but now they can get along. Nene smiles, noting that seeing them smile together as if family makes her happy. The narration concludes that because of this happiness, Mayatsuka Mahoro will continue to protect Ayakashiso and its Ayakashi, now and in the future. Mahoro whispers an exasperated "Oi," while the other Ayakashi talk among themselves, noting that Mahoro doesn't spend a lot of time with humans, which makes Nene drop her ice cream in shock, realizing Mahoro is not an Ayakashi and frantically asking them to wait. A final full-body drawing of Nene the Nikomata is presented, concluding the chapter. Mahoro pauses, an air of contemplation surrounding her. The narrator describes the large residence, Ayakashiso, as a place for lost Ayakashi. Mahoro is seen sleeping peacefully in the morning, accompanied by the sound of birds chirping. Suddenly, the tiny Ki bursts into her room with a bang, demanding that Mahoro wake up. Ki continues to yell, "Wake," above the still sleeping Mahoro. The Ayakashi is frantic, jumping up and down, yelling for Mahoro to wake up because she's hungry. Mahoro groans and sluggishly gets up because Ki is yelling, "Breakfast. I'm hungry." Rubbing her tired eyes, Mahoro reflects that though school is on summer break, a manager's work must continue. She yawns as she tells the fox-eared Koko, who is sitting at the table, "Morning," before questioning why the Ayakashi are not weak to morning sunlight. Koko offers a simple good morning, in response to Mahoro's appearance and question. Mahoro asks Koko what her star sign is, who retorts, "Who knows?" While Mahoro also notices the horoscopes on the screen and asks Koko what she's watching. Koko explains that she doesn't even remember her own birthday, causing Mahoro to question why she's even watching horoscopes. Ignoring Mahoro's question, Koko demands to know where breakfast is, and Mahoro sighs, agreeing to make it now and asking what she would like. Koko lists off expensive, non-traditional foods like sushi, steak, and Bavarian cream before Mahoro cuts her off, mentioning they only have a few eggs left and suggesting a sunny side up. Koko agrees to the eggs, but instead of sunny side up, requests that Mahoro have them boiled instead. Mahoro grabs the refrigerator door handle and pulls it open to prepare the eggs. To Mahoro's wide-eyed surprise, she finds Yukaim sleeping inside the refrigerator, curled up and making zzz sounds. Mahoro stares into the refrigerator, bewildered by the sight. Mahoro kneels down and asks Yukaim what she is doing, startling the snow woman, who yelps and asks, Yukaim explains, blushing and covering her face, that she can only sleep in cool, dark places. Yukaim hides her face, feeling the situation is embarrassing, while Mahoro smiles and says Yukaim really surprised her. Mahoro then turns and asks the other Ayakashi where Nene is, wondering if she is still sleeping in her room, but Koko just gives a confused, "Huh." Koko points down and says, "She's right here, next to the sleeping Nikomata." Mahoro spots Nene sleeping beneath the table, realizing that old habits die hard and wondering why she is sleeping in a place like this. Nene stretches out her arm while sleeping soundly beneath the table. Nene is seen snuggling under the low table, her cat tail visible, as Mahoro looks on. Koko asks Mahoro if they should wake Nene up, while Mahoro thinks to herself that Nene really is a cat, feeling that she's cute. Koko is gently rubbing Nene's head, petting the sleeping Nikomata. Nene is heard purring softly as Koko continues to rub her head. Mahoro's heart pounds with a ba-dump as she thinks Nene is so cute. Mahoro reaches her hand out, confessing she wants to pet her too. Nene suddenly bolts up from under the table, hitting her head on the table with a loud bang, yelping, and Koko asks, "Huh?" Rubbing her head, Nene remembers that she is an Ayakashi now. Koko assures Nene that once she gets used to it, she'll be phasing through objects like it's nothing and never be afraid of tabletops ever again, but Nene admits that it's kinda difficult. Mahoro reaches out and pats Nene's head, which surprises the Nikomata. Nene reacts by jumping back, shouting, "Don't touch me." Nene backs away as Mahoro looks surprised, quietly saying, "Oh." Mahoro apologizes, saying she couldn't help it, and decides that she will be making breakfast now, but Nene is still wary. The narrator reveals that Mahoro likes cats but has allergies, and suggests that Nene should let her pat her a little. A large bowl of rice and a small dish of side items is shown, ready for breakfast. Ki sits at the table, hands together, shouting, "Thanks for the food," while Mahoro scolds her again, asking how many times she has to tell her to put her dishes in the sink. The other Ayakashi, Yukaim, then steps in, surprising Mahoro by offering to do the dishes today. Yukaim insists that Mahoro don't worry and can leave it to her, but Mahoro says she really shouldn't. Yukaim apologizes, saying she's not good at this yet, and Mahoro tells her it's fine and to just sit down, but Yukaim shouts, "Careful," before dropping the dishes with a crash. Yukaim is tearful and apologizes for being useless as she and Mahoro pick up the pieces, and Mahoro tells her not to worry about it. Suddenly, the two girls scream, "Kei!" at something shocking they see on the floor, and Mahoro asks what happened. Mahoro points and says, "There's a C." But one of the girls asks what's wrong. Koko and Ki rush over, asking what's up and adding their own scream of, "K." Coco stands with her arms crossed, asking Mahoro what the commotion is. Coco and Mahoro are then shown screaming, "K," in unison, both clearly terrified. Nene looks on at the terrified girls, confused, and asks, "A cockroach?" The other girls huddle together in fear, telling Nene to, "Don't utter that name," as Nene asks why they are scared of a cockroach. Nene tries to calm them down, explaining that cockroaches aren't venomous and she used to catch them like this when she was a stray cat, but the girls scream for her to please stop. The group has apparently fled the house for the local shrine. The girls are standing near a shrine, Mahoro complaining that they got out of there real quick, but it's hot. Ki is being held by Coco, declaring that she wants to live here forever because the shrine calms you down, prompting Coco to tell her to stop trying to escape reality, and Nene asks what they are going to do now. Yukime complains that the sunlight's really strong and she thinks she's going to melt. Nene shouts, "Idiot," at Mahoro for suggesting they go home and kill the cockroach. Mahoro is confused and asks Nene what she means by her outburst, but Nene shouts back, asking if Mahoro doesn't get it. Mahoro is shocked by the question and explains that cockroaches are the most dreadful of all living things. Mahoro describes the cockroach as something to be feared, emphasizing that its existence is dreadful and you never know when they're gonna fly at you because they're black and shiny. The terrifying lore continues, adding that if you find one, there's probably 100 more. Hearing this, a terrified Mahoro holds her head, stating, "It's over," and declaring that Ayakashiko is finished, while the cat self-ghost shouts a frantic, "You gotta be kidding me," with Coco and Yukime offering tearful comfort. Nene interrupts the group's panic with a fierce determination, stating that the cockroach is just a bug and she refuses to let it take over the home she just found for herself. Nene rushes off, announcing she will exterminate it, leaving Mahoro shouting, "Wait," in surprise. Mahoro runs after her, urging Nene to use the can of bug spray, which Nene, in her zeal, is holding. A close-up shows the bug spray being held in a trembling hand, with Japanese text advertising its effectiveness against cockroaches and other pests. The image shows the can has been activated, releasing a cloud of insecticide indoors. Mahoro and Nene stand outside Ayakashiko, looking back at the house after releasing the bug spray. Mahoro wonders if there won't be any cockroaches if they use that, to which Coco replies, "Probably." Mahoro is shocked, asking why Nene didn't use the bug spray straight away if she had it all along, and Nene admits she grabbed it when they ran away but was too scared to go near the house. A grateful Mahoro thanks Nene, who plays it off casually, saying, "It's fine, no big deal." Mahoro stares at Nene with a blush, noting her fidgeting and shy posture. Nene looks back and, seemingly embarrassed, declares that Mahoro can thank her by petting her. A wide-eyed Mahoro looks at Nene, who is now shouting and insisting, "I said you could pet me." Mahoro is flustered, thinking Nene hated it earlier and pleading with her to give her a break, asking if she's sure. Nene, slightly blushing, admits that Mahoro is special. Mahoro sighs, "Okay," and reaches out her hand to accept the request. Mahoro gently rubs Nene's head, petting her cat ears. As Mahoro pets Nene, Nene visibly relaxes and lets out a loud, "Pew," which makes Mahoro smirk, accusing Nene of really purring, but Nene quickly shouts, "Yeesh," and claims Mahoro's hearing it is just her imagination. Coco looks on at the interaction, musing to the others that the newcomer's pretty interesting. Ki is overjoyed, proclaiming that Nene will become a fine toy to play with, as Yukime smiles in agreement. The sound of cicadas rustling in the trees is heard outside Ayakashiko. Back in the house, the girls argue loudly, one of them shouting, "That's it, and no more," and another yelling, "What?" Coco playfully tries to continue petting Nene, who screams, "No," as Coco insists, "Come on, just a little more." The chapter begins by introducing Ki as a Zashikiwarashi, a mischievous and prank-loving Ayakashi believed to bring happiness to the households in which they live. They are generally considered harmless because they take the form of cute children. However, it is also said that their bad moods can cause tremendous misery. The mischievous Ki is seen fast asleep, cuddling a large frog plush toy on the floor. The sound of a strong wind is heard blowing past the roof Ayakashiko. Mahoro sighs, "Phew," as she and another girl finish working in the home garden, noting that the task is finally complete. Ki is shown standing sadly on the ground by a tall plant that is much bigger than her. The small Ayakashi hides behind Mahoro's leg, asking in a worried voice about her sunflower and what if the wind blows it down. Mahoro tries to reassure Ki, explaining that they use some thin lumber to keep it upright, so it should be fine, but she says, ugh, and suggests they go back inside. Ki yells, no, and dashes back toward the flower, causing Mahoro to worry that Ki will get blown away if they don't hurry. Mahoro is concerned about Ki being so worried about her sunflower, fearing that something bad is bound to happen at this rate, but then she suddenly exclaims, that's it. OH, as an idea strikes her. A frantic Nene tries with all her might to slide a wooden door shut, groaning, as she struggles. Nene is struggling with the sliding door because she's trying to close it using only one hand and her tail, making it so hard to get the door closed. A relieved Nene finally closes the door and sighs, "Phew," while Mahoro stands nearby and thanks her. A surprised Nene-san is shocked to hear about a typhoon, noting that her life would be hanging in the balance if she was still astray, which makes Kuko state that Nene is naive and won't be saying that for long, despite Nene's remark that a house that can endure wind and rain is a wonderful thing. Kuko says Nene is going to find out what she's talking about as the wind sounds continue to whoosh. The wind's intensity causes a panicked Ayakashi to shriek, "Ike!" The Ayakashi frantically hold their heads, yelling that the noise is scary and asking if the roof is going to fly away, while Kuko calmly says, "This is what I meant." Kuko attempts to assure the terrified group that buildings made in olden days were made to last, so they should be safe, though she is sweating and her use of probably and should causes Mahoro to point out that anxiety is oozing out from all her words. Ki is seen sitting alone, hunched over and sulking in a corner. Mahoro kneels down by the sulking Ki, telling her to look at this. Mahoro holds up a whole watermelon, happily announcing, "Hee." The sight of the watermelon from the garden cheers up Ki, who yawns and asks Mahoro to wait because she knows Mahoro likes them. Ki understands when Mahoro explains that the melon will taste better after it's chilled in the fridge and is for after lunch. Yukaim asks Mahoro if Ki-chan's not feeling well, as Mahoro mutters, "Operation Watermelon is a failure." Mahoro explains to Yukaim that if the sunflower isn't okay after this, the Zashiki Warashi curse will fall upon them, which makes Yukaim question if that's a real thing. Mahoro reveals that Ki's mood swings happen all the time, explaining that the last time she was in a bad mood, she broke the fridge and all their food got ruined, forcing them to buy all their food again the next day, which Nene agrees is a tragedy and kinda bad. The girls realize that is why they have to try their best to cheer her up. Kuko glances at the sulking Ki and notes that the wind is picking up again. Kuko addresses Nene-san, asking if she wants to try using this new object. Kuko smiles and tells Nene-san to curl up inside the cardboard box, just like her instincts tell her. Nene, however, looks uneasy and asks if it's a basket, as Kuko tries to convince her to try it and that the typhoon will be over by the time she wakes up. Nene bursts out of the box, yelling for Kuko to stop teasing her and that she will never do it, until Kuko sighs and says, "Fine." Yukaim announces to everyone that lunch is ready. The girls gather around a small table as Mahoro excitedly presents a machine, which she identifies as a Nagashi Somen machine, exclaiming that she's been wanting to try this. Mahoro explains that if they press the switch and add the noodles, they get Nagashi Somen. Kuko and Nene are confused about the purpose of the machine, but Yukaim is enthusiastic, exclaiming that it's refreshingly beautiful and elegant. Mahoro tells them it's okay and directs Ki to look at the dish she prepared, excitedly saying, "Let's eat Nagashi Somen." Ki slowly and with lowered eyes thanks Mahoro for the food. Mahoro looks on as Ki struggles to pick up the slippery, flowing noodles from the machine, thinking to herself that Ki can't pick them up. Kuko is shocked, asking Ki what happened. Mahoro smiles, points to one of the noodles and excitedly tells Ki to look at the pink noodle. Mahoro then smiles and asks Ki what's wrong, telling her she wanted it, right? Both Mahoro and Yukaim gasp, exclaiming, "Wow," as Mahoro slices the chilled watermelon in half. Yukaim and Mahoro agree that the watermelon looks delicious and will definitely cheer Ki up, and Mahoro confirms it looks perfect even though she thought she harvested it a bit too early. Mahoro cuts the watermelon, hoping her plan will work while the sound of the wind, rain, and thunder grows louder. Mahoro apologizes for the wait as she presents a slice of watermelon and a spoon, while Ki stares blankly at the TV. A news report on the TV warns that the unexpectedly strong typhoon number 8 will pass through the Kanto region shortly, and the anchor is examining the damage it's caused in each region, which Mahoro ignores, happily telling Ki to look at the watermelon from the garden. The television screen shows the headline, "Super Large Typhoon Kanto Region, What About the Damage on the Ground?" as Ki shields her face in distress, and a loud sound effect indicates the typhoon's intensity. Ki stares at the watermelon with a shocked, blank expression while the others look on in horror, with slices of watermelon sitting on the table. Ki finally breaks down, crying and screaming, "You! Wayawa!" Mahoro and Yukaim are shocked, crying out, "Kii! Wawa! Wa!" Kuko and Nene-san, with deadpan eyes, comment that Ki finally broke down and ask if it gets any worse than this, while Ki continues to wail, "WH!" Mahoro cries out for Ki-chan to stop crying, worrying that at this rate, they'll still have a house by the end of this, as the intense sound of the typhoon continues to roar. The rain lashes down in a dark, angled panel, emphasizing the storm's power. The outside of the house is shown, dark and battered by the strong typhoon. Ki is seen sleeping soundly, having cried herself out. Yukaim comments that it looks like they avoided the worst-case scenario because Ki cried herself into a pleasant slumber, while Nene and Kuko are exhausted, agreeing that the ordeal was more trouble than they thought and they are tired. Mahoro notes that the typhoon should have passed by now and that it is calming down outside, suggesting she will take a look. Mahoro looks out the window, sliding it open slightly. Mahoro is peering out the window and winks. She looks out with a soft but slightly anxious expression. Mahoro smiles brightly and calls out to everyone to come have a look. Ki, woken by the call, slowly wakes up from her slumber, and Yukaim notices, saying, "Perfect timing, Ki-chan." Ki's face is shown in close-up, a look of profound shock and distress on her face. Ki is crying again, throwing a tantrum on the floor and screaming about her sunflower. Mahoro, with a gentle smile, tells the still-crying Ki to let's go have a look. Ki looks up at Mahoro with tearful eyes. They step outside, and Ki's sunflower is revealed, intact and in full bloom against the cloudy sky. Mahoro and Ki are close together, smiling at the sight. The Ayakashi are standing together, looking at the large, beautiful sunflower, with Mahoro holding Ki, and they all exclaim that the sunflower bloomed. Mahoro holds the tiny Ki, looking proudly at the sunflower. Ki looks up at the flower with awe and wonder, thinking it's beautiful. Mahoro smiles down at Ki, telling her, "Good for you, Ki." An overjoyed Ki shouts, "Why?" in celebration. Yukaim asks Ki-chan why she decided to raise a sunflower anyway, as Mahoro looks at Ki, who is now cheerfully eating the seeds and calling them yummy, prompting Mahoro to jokingly ask if she is a hamster. A smiling girl on a screen is presenting the topic, butler cafes that offer Capedon services, because she's come to experience it for herself. Nene and Kuko are watching the television with Nene asking, "Capedon?" Nene yawns, saying she really likes studying but adds that there's nothing else to do, while Kuko is mystified, wondering what the heck is that and if it's another new Japanese word. The image on the screen depicts a tall boy cornering a short girl against a wall in a common, Capedon pose, which makes the on-screen presenter exclaim, "KY," because it makes your heart skip a beat. Mahoro arrives, seeing the scene on the screen, and asks if they're serious and what's so fun about that, while Kuko mutters, "So that's a Capedon." The on-screen girl explains that places catering to girls' fantasies like this are becoming more and more popular, and presents another version, the Capezone, where the person is so strong they punch the wall so hard you travel into space. Kuko appears unimpressed with the trend, muttering, "Stupid," while Nene, having watched the explanation, says, "I see." Back at the table, Kuko suggests, "Nene-san, please be my test subject," but Nene immediately shouts, "No," before Kuko can finish explaining her idea. Kuko follows Nene outside, saying, "Come on, just for a little bit," while Nene continues to shout, "No," and run from Kuko, who wants to try out the Capedon and Capezone techniques. Nene jumps up to the roof and hisses like a cat, startling Kuko, who comments on Nene's amazing physical ability and notes that she really was a cat. Nene, perched on the roof's edge, shouts that Kuko is scaring her, but Kuko calmly tells her to just come down and says it'll be fine. Yukaim arrives on the scene, asking Kuko what happened, and Kuko looks at her slyly, thinking that the situation is really funny. Kuko is delighted, telling Yukaim-san that it is nice timing. Kuko looks at a confused Yukaim and says she guesses Yukaim will have to do as her new test subject. Kuko grabs Yukaim, telling her to look over here for a bit, causing Yukaim to scream and ask, "W what?" Kuko corners Yukaim against the wall of the house in the Capedon pose. Yukaim is shocked and blushing as she looks up at Kuko. Yukaim's heart pounds a ba-dump as a smug Kuko tells her to close her eyes. Nene watches from the roof, still muttering, "Capedon," wondering if Kuko is serious and urging her to hurry up. Kuko continues the Capedon pose, and Yukaim is visibly excited and nervous, accepting Kuko's instruction with an, okay. Kuko then uses her Ayakashi powers, going slipping through the walls. Coco emerges from the wall, shouting that it's a cape dawn that only Ayakashi can do, which she calls the nuke dawn or pass-through cape dawn. Yukime, embarrassed and still holding her bottle, laughs and says Coco really surprised her and so that's what it was. Coco looks down at the flustered Yukime, concerned, and tells her she looks really embarrassed and it's worrying her, to which Yukime quickly apologizes. Yukime, blushing heavily, tries to explain the reason for her reaction, stammering that it's because Coco is shocked as Yukime finishes her sentence, admitting that even though Coco is a girl, Coco made her heart flutter. The girls scream ACK as a loud crack is heard and Nene jumps down from the roof. Nene and the others crowd around Yukime, who holds up her drink bottle, which has suddenly frozen and exploded. Nene asks if the bottle really froze on a hot day like today, looking at Yukime with confusion. Yukime explains that when she gets excited, all the water around her has the habit of freezing, and she was looking for someone to open her too tight bottle for her when she stumbled upon the others. The embarrassed Yukime shouts at Coco, telling her it's all her fault and that Coco is always doing those things to her. Nene, rubbing her head in exasperation, complains that it was Key the other day, and now it's Yukime, while Coco defensively insists she can't help it. Nene yells out in frustration, asking why there are so many troublesome Ayakashi, while the others answer that they're like that, so she should live with it. Mahoro is seen walking past a shop advertising a cake set for 600 yen, with her mind focused on her financial burdens. An older man hands Mahoro a strip of lottery tickets, telling the little missy to take these. The old man smiles, explaining that he gave her the lottery tickets simply because she's pretty. A bewildered Mahoro gives a confused sound. The man chuckles, explaining that they're having a lottery at the building on the corner right now, and Mahoro asks in confusion what these tickets are. The man explains that the lottery is 1 try per ticket and tells her to try it out sometime. Mahoro bows and thanks him very much, and the man waves goodbye, hoping she wins something nice. Mahoro stands in the bustling shopping street, looking down at the lottery tickets. Key happily runs up and jumps onto Mahoro's back, yelling, Mahoro! Mahoro sighs, thinking to herself that she wishes Key had stayed home and wonders why the Ayakashi has to follow her every time, while Key yells, Why? And innocently asks what a lottery is. Key yells that Mahoro is not alone because Key is here, but Mahoro explains that she always acts weird when they're outside because people will think she's suspicious if she's alone and talking to herself. Mahoro explains that normal people can't see Key and the others, trying to tell Key to talk quietly. Key gives an exaggerated, quiet gesture, saying she understands, and Mahoro winks, telling her to be quiet when they're outside, please. They approach a busy street with people lining up for a booth displaying a sign for a grand lottery fair. Mahoro, with Key still on her back, notices that there's a lot of people lining up. They get in line, and Mahoro exclaims, wow, when the person in front wins something, though she adds that it'll be sad if they get nothing since they got the tickets for free, and she worries that they probably won't win anything. Mahoro's eyes widen as she reads the prizes list, noting a special prize of a Wii U console set, a gourmet gift set, a sweets package, and a cash prize of 10,000 yen. Mahoro is shocked, exclaiming, what? And saying that they're really going all out this time. Her eyes turn to yen symbols as she whispers, 10, and yells, 10,000 what? Key looks up at Mahoro, concerned by her sudden intensity, and asks for an explanation. Mahoro's face is flush with greed as she sees the 10,000 yen cash prize and firmly declares, let's win it. Key stares at Mahoro's intense focus on winning the money. The actual prize Key won is revealed, the Wii U console set. Coco and Key look at the prize, and Mahoro looks utterly dejected. Coco asks Mahoro how she got the console set, to which Key proudly replies that she won it from the lottery. Key asks Mahoro if it isn't awesome, while Coco mutters to herself about the console's cost. Coco notices Mahoro's bitter expression and asks her why she looks so bitter. Mahoro, now completely distraught, confesses that she really wanted to win the 10,000 yen and couldn't help but try to cheat, but Key couldn't tell the difference between the gold and the yellow marble because it was too dark in there. Coco suggests that since the Wii U console is the newest model, Mahoro could just sell it for money, which Mahoro admits is what she was thinking. Mahoro whispers a panicked, be quiet, as she realizes the man who gave her the ticket saw her, who is now standing next to Coco and Key and exclaiming he is surprised she really won something. Mahoro resolves that since they're stuck with it, they should all play with it together, reasoning that it might be an experience worth more than money. Mahoro sighs again about the lost 10,000 yen, while Coco, with a flat expression, comments that Mahoro really loves money. The group is now playing the video game together, with Coco looking disappointed as Mahoro shouts that the game is more fun than she thought. Nene is looking at something outside in surprise, with a sound in the background suggesting a sail or a buzzing atmosphere. Inside Ayakashi, Nene asks Coco and Yukaime, who are sitting with Ki, "Where's Mahoro?" And Coco replies she's probably in the garden. Nene spots Mahoro through the sliding door and calls out, Mahoro." Mahoro turns to the group, and her eyes are red and teary, a look of distress on her face. Nene and Ki are shocked to see Mahoro is crying, with Nene asking what happened. Mahoro is seen holding a small, sleeping kitten wrapped in a cloth, as Nene asks if it's a kitten and is shocked to see what Mahoro has with her. Mahoro smiles through her tears at Nene's surprised reaction. Mahoro explains through sniffles and tears that she found the kitten limp in the garden and was worried it was dead, but she's relieved because the vet said it was just mild malnutrition and it should be fine. Coco and Yukaime listen with solemn faces, agreeing with Mahoro's relief. Mahoro suddenly bursts into a new fit of tears, explaining that she can't stop the tears because she is allergic to cats, with her eyes and skin being bright red and really itchy, while Nene, shocked, yells at her to go to the doctor. Mahoro tearfully insists she has to give the kitten a bath but tells Nene not to worry, advising her to wash her gently with warm water since they don't have any cat shampoo. The girls are all gathered around the kitten, and they notice another cat in the distance, while Coco asks the kitten if it's not scared of them. Mahoro returns from her errand saying, "I'm back," and sighs, "Phew," as Nene welcomes her home. Mahoro then drops an enormous amount of cat supplies, listing them off as a litter box, kitty litter, a cage, treats, cat food, a water bottle, and a pet bowl, explaining to a shocked Coco that the bags were heavy. The pile of cat supplies grows to include a scratching post, a brush, a bed, pet shampoo, a cooling sheet, toys, catnip, and a carrier. Coco notes the sheer amount of goods, asking if this wouldn't be the full set, and points out that Mahoro didn't mind spending so much this time, while Mahoro defensively asks if Coco thinks all of this is enough to take care of a kitten. Nene is shocked to hear Mahoro say, "Isn't it obvious?" that Mahoro's going to look after the kitten because it's so weak, realizing that Mahoro is actually thinking about keeping it. Mahoro stares at Nene with tearful, bloodshot eyes, yelling that she turned into a spoiled child, but insists, "We're keeping it." Even though Nene points out Mahoro can't keep sneezing like this and there's no way they're keeping it. Coco suggests that Mahoro should let go of the kitten so she doesn't scare her, as Mahoro continues to sneeze, "Ayakashiko," repeatedly. Nene is confused when Ki explains that the kitten's frantic cries just sound like she's calling for her mother, which gives Nene a theory that the kitten is just separated from her mother. Mahoro is determined, wiping her nose and yelling, "I will take care of her in place of her mother," despite Coco asking if she's sure she's okay. Mahoro names the kitten Kanako and, through her dedicated care and repeated attacks, she is able to live happily together with her allergies, as the narrator notes that Kanako got better. 1 week later, Mahoro is seen holding the happy kitten as the background text signals the passage of time. Yukaime comments on how the kitten is really attached to Kanako, noting that Mahoro-san looks as if her allergies aren't even affecting her, though her nose runs like a river. Coco asks Nene why she's been sulking a lot recently, wondering if it's because Mahoro-san hasn't been giving her much attention lately, but Nene quickly denies it. Mahoro is seen hunched over on the floor and coughing violently, making Yukaime ask if Mahoro-chan has a cold, while Coco tells Mahoro to stop making up stories. The girls gather around Mahoro, who is now coughing hysterically. Coco looks on, concerned, as Mahoro explains that her cat allergies triggered an asthma attack, apologizing to the group for making them worry. Mahoro proposes that it would be better if they found some foster parents for Kanako, which shocks Coco, who says that's irresponsible after all they did. The kitten, Kanako, is shown standing at the doorway, looking back. Mahoro and Nene are shocked to see Kanako running off, exclaiming, "Eek." Mahoro frantically calls out, "Kanako! Wait, Kanako!" as Nene and the others hold her back due to her asthma and coughs. Mahoro cries out the kitten's name as Nene rushes after Kanako, explaining to Mahoro that Kanako probably heard her mother's cry and asking Mahoro to rest. Nene runs through the traditional Japanese neighborhood in search of the lost kitten. Nene, tired and out of breath, gives up and rests, realizing it's no use and she couldn't find her anywhere, while Coco reassures her that she'll come back sooner or later. Coco stands over Nene with a mischievous look, suggesting that since Nene is a cat Ayakashi, she should take Kanako's place in the meantime and sit in the cage. Nene, furious at the suggestion, yells at the stupid fox to not screw with her, while Coco teases that Nene won't have to worry about allergies and now they have a substitute. Mahoro, having recovered, bursts out the door and calls for Kanako. Mahoro smiles through her tears, overjoyed that Kanako is safe and sitting on the porch. Mahoro looks on in confusion as a larger cat appears, making Kanako no longer alone. Mahoro and the Ayakashi look on in surprise at the larger cat and the kitten, noting that they look the same, suggesting the larger one is Kanako's mother. Mahoro watches the two cats reunite, somberly observing that Kanako's mother found her. Nene is surprised, noting that Mahoro is crying again, but Mahoro says she is glad and asks Nene if she's going to be lonely. Mahoro smiles, tears of happiness running down her cheeks, saying she is so glad. The mother cat speaks, surprising Mahoro and Nene, to thank the kind human, while Mahoro tells Kanako to be happy with her mother. The mother cat explains that she saw Mahoro taking care of her little one, and she and her kitten cannot frequently reveal themselves and want to live their lives without being seen. The mother cat thanks them very much and promises that when her kitten grows up, they'll definitely come and see Mahoro again. The mother cat carries Kanako away and says, goodbye. Coco notes that Nikomata really do exist, while Nene is still processing that the cat talked, and Yukaim asks why Nene looks so surprised. Mahoro is sobbing, covering her face and muttering. Mahoro is seen crying heavily, but she insists she's not crying, saying, it's my allergies. As Coco yells at her to, don't cry. The chapter ends with Nene sleeping peacefully in Kanako's bed, which Coco notes is cute, while Nene's dignity is the only thing being thrown away. In a flashback, Meiho-chan's grandmother asks her if it's boring being alone. Meiho-chan smiles and confirms, why? Meiho-chan then joyfully tells her grandmother that right now, she's playing Kiruda with everyone and is not alone. The screen fills with the four Ayakashi, Coco, Yukaim, Nene, and Ki, all smiling and playing a game of Kiruda with Meiho-chan. Meiho-chan's grandmother apologizes to Meiho-chan, explaining that she's sorry and can't look after her right now because Meiho-chan is really busy with work, which Meiho-chan accepts. The grandmother, with a soft smile, watches Meiho-chan leave. She then turns to the Ayakashi and thanks them as always, asking them to please continue on taking care of Meiho-chan. Back in the present, Mahoro comes home from school and announces, I'm home dash, as Ki rushes at her shouting, Mahoro. The other Ayakashi greet her with a welcome back and welcome home. But Mahoro explains that it's really hot in her uniform and asks them to let her change her clothes first. Coco asks Mahoro, who is changing out of her uniform, how her trip home was and if she met her. Mahoro is confused and asks, meet who? And Coco clarifies that Mahoro only went home for her grandmother's shinbon, so she should have been there, right? Mahoro sighs and explains that she can't see departed souls and they don't really show themselves in the first place, so she expected she wouldn't see her, which Coco sadly agrees with. The Ayakashi nod in understanding as Mahoro leaves the room, closing the door behind her. Coco then brightly asks Mahoro-san if she wants to go out for a bit. The other Ayakashi jump up, excited, announcing that because Mahoro received some pocket money, they want her to treat them to something. The group is now out in the town, gathered under a large, traditional lantern gate. Mahoro is now in a street shop, paying for 5 servings of roast potato soft serve. The vendor asks Mahoro if she's sure she can carry all of them since her friends are waiting close by, which Mahoro calmly accepts, promising to be careful. Suddenly, 3 of the soft serves vanish into thin air, startling the vendor and Mahoro, who is confused. The vendor is bewildered, counting the soft serves and the one Mahoro is holding, saying, 3 disappeared? I gave you 5, correct? Mahoro runs away with the 2 remaining soft serves, shouting, I got a GO, and thanking the vendor profusely. Mahoro, with an angry face, scolds the Ayakashi, yelling, geez. I told you to not to do anything crazy, and pleading with them to be more aware that they are Ayakashi. Coco smugly asks if humans can't see the stuff they're holding, explaining that the dimension they're in is a paper-thin difference from the existing dimension. Coco notes that she thinks it's better that way, though Nene, holding her soft serve, admits she doesn't get it at all. Nene looks at her ice cream, remembering how her grandmother used to buy this for her a lot. Yukaim holds her soft serve, commenting that it tastes yummy, and smiling with happiness. The girls stand happily eating their soft serve, sharing that the soft serve is really tasty and the cookie is really good too, though Mahoro cautions them not to get too excited or they might drop it. Yukaim is then seen screaming as she drops her soft serve, while Mahoro sadly comments that she should have been more careful. Coco immediately offers Yukaim her own soft serve, saying, have it, and telling her she can eat the whole thing. Yukime accepts the rare offer with surprise and thankfulness. Mahoro and the group are then seen walking down the street at dusk. Yukime looks back at something she saw, asking, "What was that?" Yukime realizes the soft serve she was holding has turned rock hard and exclaims that it's not soft serve anymore, it's hard serve, while Mahoro and Nene ask if she just imagined it. Ki is drooling over a stand selling ninjioyaki, a type of doll-shaped cake. Mahoro notices Ki's desire and asks her if she wants to eat some ninjioyaki, reminding her that she has to share with everyone and not eat too much. Ki thanks Mahoro for the treat and happily tells Yukime that she'll give her the fishbowl one, which is a paper lantern shape. Ki distributes the ninjioyaki to the group, giving the dove to Yukime, the chicken to Kuko, and the washing board to Nene, and the biggest one to Mahoro, saying her gift is unusual. Ki is happy to have shared her treats, and Mahoro thanks her. Mahoro takes a bite of the ninjioyaki, noting it's shaped like the underside of a pillbug. The scene shifts to the river, with many small lights floating on the water. Mahoro realizes that the beautiful floating lights are from the Turunagashi, which explains why they're seeing a lot of different people today. Kuko explains the Turunagashi is an event where people write wishes on lanterns and send them down the river, jokingly adding that humans do some weird things. Kuko then explains the origin of the event, the Okurabi, a fire lit to guide the spirits back after returning for Obon. The Ayakashi are happy, with Mahoro wondering if they're acting suspicious because they're being kind and strangely cheerful. Kuko dismisses Mahoro's suspicion, insisting they're always kind. Mahoro admits she's been getting a weird feeling that someone is watching her. The lanterns are carefully placed onto the water. The group is mesmerized by the lights, pointing and saying, "Wow. Look, look." Mahoro is emotional, absorbing the quiet beauty of the Turunagashi. Ki, sitting on Mahoro's shoulder, asks her if it's not beautiful. Mahoro is thoughtful, wondering if her grandmother will return to heaven safely, concluding that she was a really easygoing person. Yukime notices that Mahoro-chan cheered up, which is how wonderful. Ki gives Mahoro a big smile and asks her what is it, and Kuko explains they brought Mahoro out to cheer her up by showing her nice scenery and letting her eat some good food because Mahoro wasn't looking too happy when she came home today. Mahoro is touched, saying, "Everyone," and asks them to wait, as Kuko and Ki rejoice that it went all according to plan. Mahoro sighs, saying, "Geez," and complaining that they said they were going to cheer her up but all she did was buy them food. Mahoro looks out over the water, smiling, realizing she's kind of happy despite her earlier complaints. Mahoro continues to look out, resting her head on her hand, a peaceful expression on her face. Mahoro turns to the side and sees a smiling figure in a traditional kimono standing among the lanterns, calling out, "Grandmother." The Ayakashi are shocked, exclaiming, "No way," and shouting, "It's Grandma." The grandmother smiles warmly at the group. The grandmother didn't return home but came here instead. Mahoro realizes that the feeling she had about someone watching her this whole time was her grandmother, concluding that maybe she came to see Mahoro. Kuko points out that the smile and wave the grandmother gave them means they don't have to worry about her getting back to heaven safely. Kuko reassures Mahoro that they're with her too, making Mahoro worry more. The chapter ends with a simple drawing of Yukime holding an ice pop. Mahoro is seen putting her long, dark hair up into a ponytail as she gets ready for school. Mahoro screams, "Hey dash," in shock. The startled Ayakashi gather around Mahoro, with Kuko asking what happened and why she was shouting, as Mahoro nervously shows something on her phone and tells them to look at this. Mahoro shows them an online flyer that lists the price of eggs she bought yesterday for 100 yen. Mahoro points out to the Ayakashi that another nearby supermarket is 5 yen cheaper and she's upset there was no difference between the advertised prices, calling it a hopeless, "what a waste of money" situation, as she realizes the summer holidays are over already and the new term starts today. Mahoro rushes out the door to school, announcing she's OFF- and instructing the others not to forget to eat the bento boxes she made for lunch. Yukime holds Ki, greeting Mahoro with a "good morning," noting that humans are busy. Kuko realizes Mahoro has school today and already left, shocking Ki. Kuko gives Yukime some snacks as she yawns, realizing Ki is crying that she wants to go too, making Yukime tell Ki to wait and that she'll get lost if she goes by herself. Kuko announces that she got it, and suggests they all go to Mahoro's school, shocking Nene who asks what she's saying all of a sudden. Nene glares at Kuko, asking, "What the hell?" in frustration, but Kuko ignores her, teasingly asking Nene if she's not curious about what Mahoro-san is like at school. Kuko and Ki tell Nene that Mahoro is actually really weird, asking Nene if she doesn't think Mahoro-san is a weird person, while quietly giggling that Mahoro will definitely flip out if they follow her. Kuko grabs Nene, telling her to calm down and listen because the Ayakashi worry about Mahoro whenever she goes to school. Kuko reveals their worry to Nene, explaining that Mahoro-san might be getting bullied at school. Kuko explains that this happened before Nene met her, showing Nene a news program discussing problems with bullying on the television. Nene is immediately determined to protect Mahoro because she's in trouble, but Kuko tells her to calm down because it's too easy, revealing that this is all Nene's imagination, showing Nene imagining Mahoro getting tangled up with some delinquents. The Ayakashi arrive outside the school building. The Ayakashi look through the glass window and agree this is the school, warning each other to not get lost, and recognize Mayatsuka-san walking down the hallway. Two of Mahoro's classmates greet Mahoro, with one exclaiming that it's really Mayatsuka-san, and that it's been so long, and what a sight for sore eyes, as the Ayakashi look on curiously. The girls surround Mahoro, admiring her lovely hair, pure skin, and long legs, saying she's beautiful as always, and wondering if she isn't wonderful. Ki and Kuko are shocked, asking, Mahoro is popular? Nene and the other Ayakashi are confused, agreeing that Mahoro is beautiful but questioning why Kuko said she was getting bullied. Mahoro greets another classmate with a straight, adult-looking expression, making her classmate wonder if Mahoro always acts like this. The Ayakashi look on, bewildered by Mahoro's school persona. Mahoro's classmates wonder if Mahoro is just a cool beauty who is mysterious and won't get close to anyone, which leads them to discuss a rumor that she has a rule against making friends. The Ayakashi are utterly surprised, noting that this is really weird, pointing out that Mahoro was screaming about 5 yen this morning. Kuko's eyes sparkle as she realizes this situation is getting interesting because Mahoro is trying to hide her true self. Kuko excitedly shouts that they should investigate more and yells for everyone to go, dragging the reluctant Nene who only wants to go home already. Mahoro sits alone at her desk, reading a book with a peaceful, angelic look on her face. A cheerful male classmate greets Mahoro with a loud, "Good morning, Mayatsuka-san." The boy offers Mahoro a wrapped treat, nervously explaining that it's a souvenir he bought from his trip over the holidays and he wanted to share them with the whole class, offering Mahoro one if she likes. Mahoro quietly accepts the gift, saying, "Thank you." Other boys crowd around the classmate, telling him to give them some too and cheering because he heard her voice. The Ayakashi, still watching, are amazed by Mahoro's cool reaction. Kuko grins, commenting that it looks like Mahoro's wearing some tough armor, noting that in a normal situation involving an expensive sweet, she would be waiting on them hand and foot, and suggests they see if they can break it. Mahoro looks surprised as a 500 yen coin is seen rolling across the floor, ringing loudly. Kuko, outside, reveals that she can conjure illusions like the great 500 yen coin, saying there's no way Mahoro won't go for it. Mahoro sits at her desk, her eyebrow twitching, battling the urge to go for the coin. Mahoro suddenly kicks the coin into the wall as she tries to stop herself from going for it. Mahoro lets out a small, suppressed cry of pain and frustration. The boys in the class look over, and the Ayakashi suppress their laughter outside, realizing Mahoro had kicked the coin. Mahoro's teacher announces that class is starting and instructs everyone to take their seats, while Kuko exclaims to the Ayakashi that she's having so much fun with this. Kuko, grinning widely, plots her next trick, asking, "How about this? Again?" A classmate sitting behind Mahoro gently taps her shoulder and presents her a textbook. The girl apologetically tells Mahoro that the book she handed her isn't the homework and instead it's a book about cats. Mahoro is mortified, blushing profusely, and tries to apologize, while her classmate quietly thinks that Mahoro carries around a cat book and it's so cute. The surrounding classmates are shocked, whispering that Mayatsuka-san likes cats and one is so moved that he wishes he was born a cat instead. Mahoro holds the cat book in horror, wondering why it's in her bag. Mahoro clutches the actual homework, realizing that the Ayakashi must be playing tricks on her. Mahoro looks out the window, realizing it has to be them. Mahoro takes the packaged souvenir from her desk and tears it open. Kuko and Ki are shocked as Mahoro reaches a hand out toward them. Mahoro glares at the Ayakashi, confirming, "I knew it was you guys." Mahoro angrily accuses Ki of being the only one who can use that technique and that she used it to target her weakness, making Ki look ashamed and admit she made a mistake. Mahoro covers her face in embarrassment, asking the Ayakashi when they started watching. Kuko, Ki, and the others grin, telling Mahoro they got to see a lot of interesting stuff ever since this morning. Mahoro sighs, noting that she knew it, and admits she's weird, as Koko and Ki ask Mahoro if she's not angry. Mahoro explains that because of her ability to see ghosts, it was easy for people to misunderstand things, so she slowly began to develop the reserved persona they saw before, believing it was better to stay away from others. Koko exclaims with surprise, realizing that Mahoro is just really shy, which Mahoro reluctantly admits is right, but quickly yells that she doesn't want to admit it though. Mahoro tells the Ayakashi that she can talk to old people, no problem, and asks them what she should do. Mahoro is distraught, wondering how she can act normal at school. Nene suggests Mahoro should just act like she does when she's with them, like right now, but Mahoro says that's impossible. Mahoro blushes and quietly admits that's because they are special. The Ayakashi look at her in shock, blushing with the compliment. Koko asks if Mahoro's statement isn't discrimination against Ayakashi, while Nene and Yukime, offended, ask if that means discrimination against cats. Koko then changes the subject, asking where the delinquents from the fireworks festival were, but Mahoro says they don't really go to school. A girl who was sitting nearby glares at Koko, revealing that Koko's question prevented her from going to curse the delinquents. The chapter ends with a close-up of the mysterious girl who was planning to curse the delinquents, now looking out toward the Ayakashi. The page summarizes the main characters. Mahoro, the 16-year-old manager with the ability to see ghosts. Koko, a prank-loving kitsune who can conjure illusions. Ki, a Zashiki Warashi who loves to eat. Yukime, who feels most comfortable in the refrigerator. And Nene, a Nikomata who has just become an Ayakashi. The scene is a busy street in the downtown area. A schoolgirl, Emi Takanashi, is shown watching Mahoro and the Ayakashi, thinking that that girl is talking to Yukai. The school bell rings a loud ding-dong, causing Mahoro to realize with an "oh-no" that the assembly is about to start, so she desperately tells the Ayakashi to just go home. Koko tells Mahoro she's awful but that she doesn't have to tell them that because they're hungry anyways, and Koko tells Mahoro to go straight there. Emi Takanashi is seen kneeling on the ground, holding her arm and saying, "Oh, is that hurt?" After having chased Mahoro. Koko realizes that the girl they saw earlier was watching them the whole time. Koko is confused, realizing that normal people can't see them, and wonders if this means it's a big problem that Mahoro was talking to herself. The school principal announces that they will end the opening assembly. The students all bow on command. The teacher announces they will now introduce the new transfer student and calls Takanashi Emi-san to the podium. Emi Takanashi introduces herself as Emi Takanashi from Osaka, explaining that her mother is German, so she looks a bit like a foreigner, but she speaks Japanese instead of German at home. Emi says she's been practicing her standard Japanese without an accent but asks the students if she hasn't fixed it at all. Emi, blushing slightly, concludes her speech with an informal, "Anyways, nice to meet y'all." The surrounding students excitedly comment that her accent's really cute, she looks like a doll, she's really cute, and ask if she's a halfie. The teacher announces that Takanashi-san will be joining class 1 to 2, which is Mahoro's class, causing the boys to complain that it's so unfair that their class gets the cool beauty Mayatsuka-san and the flashy halfie. Emi is seen leaving the podium, and Mahoro looks surprised that Emi is the same class as her, but Mahoro doubts Emi will want anything to do with her because of her aloof school persona. Emi stares directly at Mahoro, with her eyes glistening and reflecting stars. Emi approaches Mahoro's desk, confirming Mahoro's fear that Emi wasn't just talking to her. Emi confronts Mahoro, asking, "It was you, wasn't it?" Emi looks closely at Mahoro and asks what it is that Mahoro is hiding, confusing Mahoro. Emi suddenly shouts an apology, revealing she can't let Mahoro's true identity be revealed in public, and runs away. The surrounding classmates whisper about whether Mayatsuka-san and the transfer student look like they know each other. Mahoro is seen leaving the school with a heavy sigh. Mahoro, looking gloomy, sighs as she thinks it's only the first day and she's already this tired. Mahoro wonders about the transfer student, as she's pretty sure she doesn't know any half-German people. Mahoro silently regrets that if she were able to talk to her properly in that situation, she might have become friends. Mahoro sighs, noting that making friends is hard. Mahoro returns home to the welcoming faces of the Ayakashi. Mahoro immediately gets angry, yelling, "How dare you guys?" Because Koko knew Mahoro was going to be angry. Mahoro scolds the Ayakashi for their immaturity, saying she's starting to think they've forgotten who's been feeding them all this time, and sternly warns them that there won't be a second time. Mahoro is then distracted by a crack sound coming from outside. Mahoro asks the Ayakashi if they just heard that sound outside. Mahoro's eyes widen as she wonders if it could be a stray cat. The new transfer student, Emi Takanashi, is seen looking in through the window, smiling at Mahoro. Mahoro looks on in utter shock that the transfer student is at her house. Mahoro is alarmed and wonders if Emi is a stalker because Emi admits she followed Mahoro all the way there because she couldn't get the timing right to talk to her at school. Emi's eyes sparkle with wonder as she blurts out that she wants to be friends with the Yukai. Mahoro, completely speechless, can only manage a stunned, "What?" Yukai, Nene, and Ki are sitting together and eating ice pops. Mahoro sets down a platter of snacks on the table, looking annoyed at the two loud thuds as the dish lands. The transfer student, Emi, smiles and thanks Mahoro. Mahoro's new classmate Emi is sitting at the table with all the Ayakashi and Mahoro. Kuko tells Mahoro-san to stop making scary faces and deal with this quickly, as Mahoro nervously shivers and trembles. Emi points and asks if the foggy thing over there is a yokai-san, as the unseen apparition looms behind her. Mahoro, with a sullen look, asks if Emi means the foggy one, as Emi cheerfully explains that she gets the feeling something's there and describes it sort of like a cloud. Emi explains to the confused Ayakashi that normally, people who can see spiritual beings are only able to see that much. Emi continues that simply seeing Ayakashi clearly and being able to touch them are abilities that have only been held by very few people throughout history, concluding that Mahoro-san's power is really extraordinary. Mahoro is completely shocked and dizzy from Emi's assessment of her power. Kuko suggests that Mahoro-san might be a reincarnation of a famous exorcist, a god, or a figure with great spiritual power. Mahoro says that this is the first time she's heard of this and asks if she shouldn't be the number one scariest thing in the house, but Kuko calmly says that is just her theory and that thinking about it too deeply is scaring her, so she's going to stop. Emi suddenly grabs Mahoro's attention, shouting that she was talking to the yokai-san and asks Mahoro to teach her how she did it. Emi stares intently at Mahoro, pleading with her, "Please. I really want to be friends with them." Kuko suggests that she show Emi a technique that lets her see Ayakashi clearly, which shocks Mahoro because she didn't know Kuko could do that. Kuko explains to Emi that she's only going to teach her the method, and Emi will be the one doing it, instructing Mahoro and Emi to hold each other's hand for the technique to work. Kuko instructs them to start breathing in sync, which Mahoro finds difficult. Kuko patiently guides them to take 10 deep breaths together, to take another big breath, and to hold it for 10 seconds before exhaling. Kuko instructs Emi to now open her eyes. Emi is sitting with Mahoro, and the previously invisible Ayakashi are now seen as a group of ghostly white figures. Emi's eyes focus, and she now sees all the Ayakashi clearly. Emi's eyes glitter with joy as she finally sees her friends, exclaiming, "Yokai-san!" Emi is delighted and bows, saying, "Fwa. It's a pleasure to meet you, Ayakashi-san." Kuko explains that the technique is a method that lets Mahoro-san share her spiritual aura with Emi, adding that the power is pretty convenient, but warns that the method won't work if the height and age of the two people aren't similar. Emi, ignoring the technical details, is ecstatic, shouting, "Awesome, awesome," as she recognizes Kuko's fox features and asks, "You're a Yuko-san, right?" Emi then correctly guesses the smiling Yukai, asking if she's a Yukiana-san, and is amazed to discover Nene is a Nikomata-san. Emi then enthusiastically tries to guess Ki, asking, "And you're a baked Nuki?" as Ki gives her a big happy smile. Emi quickly corrects herself and apologizes, admitting she may have mistaken the Kanaki Jiji and Tanuki before Ki shouts she's a Zashiki Warashi. Emi bursts into loud laughter. Emi happily reaches out to all of them, declaring, "My Ayakashi friends. Let's all get along dash." Mahoro watches the scene, wondering who this girl is who makes friends so easily. The narrator notes that Emi became friends with the Ayakashi in the blink of an eye. Mahoro is in awe, wondering if this is the power of communication. Emi is extremely happy, profusely thanking Mahoro for the help, and is about to call her Maharan. Emi thanks Mahoro and calls her Maharan, with a shine in her eyes, exclaiming that thanks to Mahoro, she was able to become friends with Ayakashi. Emi smiles and asks Mahoro if they can be friends, telling Mahoro that she can call her Emi. Kuko comments that it's great that Mahoro-san made a new friend, but Mahoro is completely overwhelmed and flustered. Mahoro can barely speak, repeating, "No way," as Emi happily says that Mahoro has made a friend. Mahoro, overwhelmed, glows with happiness at the realization that she has a friend. Emi is startled as her phone vibrates, reminding her that she should get going because she didn't tell her mom where she was. Emi turns to Mahoro with a big, hopeful smile, asking, "Can I come hang out again?" Mahoro, flustered, agrees to any time as Emi runs off, but not before putting a small, round object down as a present. A close-up emphasizes the small object left behind. The gift is a dried kappa statue that Emi proudly made herself, which disgusts the Ayakashi. The girls are confused about the gift, asking why it has to be dried, why Emi was carrying it around, and why it is handmade. Mahoro gives a sigh of resignation, but politely thanks Emi for having her, who quickly runs away. The eerie dried kappa statue is prominently displayed, as the girls wonder what they are going to do with the strange gift. Yukime suggests that Emi is a bit weird, and Mahoro sadly agrees. Kuko points out that although Emi may be weird, she's a girl Mahoro's age with spiritual powers, and wonders if a friend like that wouldn't be quite valuable since Mahoro doesn't lose anything by being friends with her. Kuko clenches her fist, pondering the idea of friends. The rest of the Ayakashi cheer and encourage Mahoro, telling her to go for it, but Mahoro wonders if that might be impossible. The final panel shows Emi smiling, holding a plushie of a Cyclopes-like monster, happily embracing her love for kimokawaii things. This story opens by focusing on Mayatsuka Mahoro's day off. The day begins sharply at 7 a.m. with a tiny, cheerful companion jumping in to loudly wish Mahoro a good morning, urging her to wake up. Mahoro, now awake, immediately starts making breakfast, deciding to make more side dishes than she would on a regular weekday, cooking until the food is ready and her small companion happily expresses thanks for the food. After the meal, she takes a moment to check the weather forecast over a cup of tea with one of the fox-eared residents, confirming that they should be having some clear weather today, a pronouncement that elicits a joyful exclamation of "Wai" from her. With the good weather confirmed, Mahoro proceeds to dry the laundry outside, and observing the conditions, notes that it seems like good weather to air out the futons as well. Having completed the chores, Mahoro wipes her brow and smiles brightly, noting that having a day off is the best. The fox-eared resident looks at Mahoro's domestic routine and comments that her day off looks exactly like a mother's day off, a comparison Mahoro quickly shuts down by telling the other resident to be quiet. A little voice pipes up, asking for fluffy omuris, and after a pause, Mahoro concedes, saying, "Okay, fluffy omuris it is," which is met with an enthusiastic hooray. One of the other residents feels apologetic, having intended to make omuris for lunch as well. Mahoro later shows the tiny companion the recently set up home garden, pointing out that the parsley is growing nicely, but the small figure immediately responds that she hates parsley. Mahoro continues her housework, noting that because they live in an old Japanese house, everything must be done meticulously by hand, leading to a day where cleaning is done more carefully than usual, and since the mischievous Ayakashi usually get in the way, the game console won from the lottery is employed as a babysitter. With no time to rest after cleaning, Mahoro immediately begins preparations for lunch, busily chopping ingredients. Before long, the requested omuris is ready and on a plate. The tiny companion exclaims, "Ew, fluffy, fluffy," at the sight of the lunch, but then takes a closer look at the food and asks Mahoro, "What's this?" with an expression of shock. The tiny figure's shock escalates when she spots small green specks on the omuris, yelling that, "There's parsley on this." Mahoro, taken aback, denies adding any, saying, "But I didn't add any parsley," as the other resident angrily reminds her, "I told you before. Ki hates parsley." Before Mahoro has a sudden realization, exclaiming, "Oh yeah," as she thinks about how parsley is used as garnish on a salad. The angry resident, still suspicious, asks Mahoro what the green dots are, since Mahoro insists she didn't add parsley. The two figures look at each other with wide, shocked eyes as Mahoro exclaims that the green dots must be dried seaweed. The day's routine is quickly established. Mornings are for housework, and the afternoon is reserved for relaxing. The tiny figure, despite her earlier fuss, decides that being picky with food isn't allowed in this house and eats the omuris with a happy, "Yummy." After a busy day, night comes in the blink of an eye, and Mahoro ends her day by relaxing in the bath, concluding that the day comes to an end. Mahoro is shown asleep in bed. Lying in bed, Mahoro reflects on her day, thinking, "Today was so much fun." As the narrator concludes that this is Mahoro somehow enjoying her life as the manager, aka mother, of Ayakashiko. The story opens with a serene image of Nene, the cat-eared resident, and the fox-eared resident sitting quietly with their small animal companions. The scene shifts to the dining table where breakfast has been served, with bowls of rice, soup, and side dishes neatly laid out as one of the residents offers a soft thanks for the food. The residents, including the cat-eared one, Nene, start eating quietly and enjoying their meal, with sounds of sipping and munching filling the space. The peaceful morning is broken when the fox-eared resident suddenly states that something is wrong, causing Nene to look up and ask what she is saying so early in the morning. Before Nene can finish her thought, the fox-eared resident shouts in surprise, showing her bowl where she has poured soup on her rice, a dish she calls Nikomanma, instructing Nene to do the same. Nene, though initially taken aback by the action, tries the mixture and admits that it kind of goes well together and is delicious, while the fox-eared resident laughs triumphantly, declaring, "I told you." Mahoro, with a look of intense disapproval, stares at the two mischievous residents, simply saying, "You guys." Before Mahoro leaves for the day, she gently places a box in front of Ki, the tiny companion, telling her to eat this and be a good girl today. Nene and the fox-eared resident apologize after Mahoro reminds them to be quiet when you're eating. With a sigh, Mahoro, looking somewhat sullen and surrounded by swirling dark aura, announces she is off to school. As Mahoro walks out the door, the other residents wish her have a good day at school, with one of them noticing the change in her demeanor. The residents comment that Mahoro isn't looking too well and wonder what happened, especially since she was really cheerful doing the housework yesterday. Nene suggests that Mahoro's current state has to be because of that thing, referring to a creepy statue they got the other day, which one of the residents holds up for display. The fair-haired resident, however, suggests that it looks like Mahoro isn't too keen on meeting that girl at school again, but the fox-eared resident quickly dismisses this, saying, "No, you're wrong," and insists it is the Kappa's curse. The fair-haired resident admits that the creepy-looking thing would be quite frightening if you saw it in the dark, so the fox-eared resident ponders the situation and suggests, "In that case, how about we give it some cute accessories?" She then demonstrates her idea, accessorizing the disturbing statue with a cute ribbon and glass eyeballs, proclaiming it to be sort of like this. The other residents are appalled by the result, stating that the statue looks even more creepy now, with Nene exclaiming "You." The sight of the over-accessorized and still creepy creature causes Nene to let out a small shriek of "eek." The grotesque effect of the decorated statue causes the other two residents to stare at it in horrified surprise, crying, "Ugh." Realizing their mistake, one resident pulls the statue away, and another, realizing the danger, suggests to Kuko that the statue might actually curse them if they keep playing with it like that, but the fox-eared resident thinks that maybe they should have done something else instead. The fox-eared resident then carefully places the statue outside, declaring the placement to be perfect. One of the residents calls out, asking if that is simply because the fox-eared resident doesn't want to keep it inside, but the fox-eared resident insists that this statue will become Ayakashiso's guardian deity from today onwards. The cat-eared resident snaps, telling her not to try to change the subject, and then expresses a sincere wish that Mahoro-san comes home early today. The other residents chime in with various reactions to the statue's new outdoor position, from being surprised that someone went to the effort to put it outside, to one person exclaiming that the statue, which they call Kappa-san, now looks so cute. The chapter begins with an illustration of Mahoro and her friends smiling brightly, setting a cheerful tone for the events to follow. The scene shifts to Mahoro walking through the school hallway, clearly nervous as her heart pounds, telling herself that it's going to be fine. With her heart continuing to pound, she reassures herself that she must just act like she usually does. She approaches a door, her hand reaching out to grab the handle with a rattle, stealing her resolve by thinking, "Here I go." As the door opens, she is greeted by a smiling, light-haired girl who enthusiastically calls out aloud, "Good morning, Maharan." The light-haired girl, Takanashi-san, greets her with a dramatic flourish as she enters the classroom, an action that draws the attention of the students, whose surprised voices chatter. Mahoro makes her way to her desk and sits down, trying to appear calm, while the background chatter describes Mayatsuka-san as playing it cool as usual, acting as cool as a cucumber. Mahoro sinks into despair, mentally declaring she has done it again and acted way too antisocial, admitting she planned to greet her more casually but totally messed up, while her classmates wonder if Mayatsuka-san and Takanashi-san know each other. Takanashi-san quickly approaches Mahoro, playfully poking her and calling out, "Earth to Maharan." As Mahoro sits with her head in her hands, agonizing about what she is going to do and believing Takanashi-san is going to hate her now. Takanashi-san then cheerfully explains that she told her mom about how Mahoro let her hang out at her place the other day, and her mom was so surprised that she made a friend so quickly that she said Takanashi could invite Mahoro over to play sometime. Mahoro is surprised and wonders if Takanashi-san doesn't care about what happened, while Takanashi-san keeps talking, explaining that they just moved in and there are still a lot of boxes, which is why Mahoro should come over next time. Takanashi-san, throwing her arms up happily, exclaims, "It's a promise." To Mahoro's dismay, who realizes she wasn't paying attention at all and has inadvertently made a promise. Their classmates observe the interaction with surprise, noting that they always thought Mayatsuka-san was the independent type since they never saw her talk to anyone or belong to any groups up until now, and express their astonishment that they are friends and hang out at each other's houses. The attention and excitement escalate among the classmates, who activate their filter as they look at the pair, deeming the friendship splendid and declaring that they look perfect together. The chatter intensifies, suggesting that Mahoro has been more cheerful lately because of this new friendship. The excitement is interrupted when a new student, a girl with short light hair, slides the door open, causing the other students to gasp, saying, "Speak of the devil," as they exchange awkward greetings. The new girl, who forgotten where her desk is because it's been so long, asks the group for help, and they point out that it's the one over there, to which she thanks them. The new girl, as she passes Mahoro, greets her, saying, "Well, if it isn't Mayatsuka-san," and tells her, "Hey there." Mahoro is internally distraught, explaining that this girl was in the same class during elementary school, someone she could call a childhood friend, but Mahoro's inability to see spirits was only during that time, and because of what happened, she hasn't been good at socializing with people ever since. The girl points out another male student and exclaims, "That's the ghost girl from elementary school," causing Mahoro to internally question why she had to meet again in high school after her parents were so worried they sent her to a faraway middle school where not many people knew her. The girl then approaches Mahoro and asks if spooky things still happen to her, a question Mahoro doesn't answer but internally decides that she doesn't think that she's a bad person though. The girl laughs and recalls that the spooky incidents, like windows shattering or television suddenly breaking down, were really scary back then, but Mahoro privately thinks that those probably weren't even her fault and that the girl bringing that stuff up makes her hard to deal with. Takanashi-san then gently pats the shoulder of the girl who brought up the spooky incidents. Takanashi-san stands protectively between Mahoro and the girl. Takanashi-san smiles and introduces herself to the new girl with a friendly, "Hey," and a formal, "Nice to meet you." The girl is surprised and asks the group, "Who is this?" "A foreigner." Takanashi-san just smiles with her eyes closed, exuding a happy aura. She then announces with a definitive point that she is Maharon's friend. She continues, declaring that she is her best friend and that the other girls shouldn't talk bad about her. Mahoro looks on, blushing and shocked by Takanashi-san's bold statement. The new girl is speechless, looking from Takanashi-san to Mahoro and back again, wondering what she is on about. Mahoro quietly reflects, thinking that Takanashi-san and the new girl aren't bad people. She then realizes, wait a minute, why am I so scared? What was there to be afraid of in the first place? The two girls start arguing, with one exclaiming, "You'll wanna fight?" and the other saying she doesn't really get it but will take her on any time. Watching them, Mahoro has an epiphany, realizing, I get it now. If I keep avoiding people, then nothing is ever going to change. Mahoro stands up, pushing her desk aside, declaring that she has to stop hiding inside her shell and finally speaks out to the two girls, saying, "You guys?" Mahoro then interjects in their argument, nervously telling them that fighting is bad. The argument immediately stops as Takanashi-san and the other girls stare at Mahoro, their argument forgotten. Mahoro's face turns beet red as the other students quietly wonder if that was actually Mayatsuka-san speaking. Mahoro is so embarrassed by her sudden public outburst that she sits back down, hunching over her desk as she emits a nervous hiss. The other students in the class react with an excited burst of chatter and attention. Takanashi-san turns to a blushing and embarrassed Mahoro. Takanashi-san gives Mahoro a thumbs up and a sparkling wink, telling her, "Good job." Mahoro's blush deepens as she touches her face, looking overwhelmed. Mahoro then sits at her desk and smiles slightly, making a peace sign with her fingers. She reflects, feeling that she gets the feeling that from now on she can change because of Takanashi-san. The next day the other students are chattering about the new girl, Yoshida-san, and her boyfriend going to quit school because they might be pregnant, an explosive rumor that catches Mahoro's attention. Mahoro looks surprised and slightly disturbed by the information, while on a separate panel, Takanashi-san, also hearing the news, is drawn in a comical style, excited by the gossip. The chapter begins with an image of Ki, the small Zashikuwarashi, sitting beside a statuette of a tanuki. A group of Ayakashi, including a smiling girl, a ghost, a cat in sunglasses, and a figure in a pointy hat, stand ready to present the Ayakashi exercises. Step 1. Ki, the Zashikuwarashi, is seen with a wide, excited grin, cheering, "Let's go!" Back at the house, the cat-eared resident, Nene, the fox-eared resident, and another short-haired resident watch the exercise video of the Ayakashi, who are moving to the rhythm of Ayakashi on the television. The fox-eared resident, while munching on food, observes that she doesn't think Ki-san is aware that she's an Ayakashi, a comment the cat-eared resident responds to by saying the fox-eared one is the last person that should be saying that. The fox-eared resident defends herself by proudly proclaiming she is the shining example of an Ayakashi because she can cast illusions and knows everything, while the cat-eared resident wonders if the fox's animal ears and tail are just decorations. The fox-eared resident explains that her ears and tail are mostly for decoration but that she does indeed have animal ears and a tail, adding that Ayakashi were originally animals after all and the features are just comfortable to have, which the short-haired resident agrees with. The fox-eared resident then questions if the freezing power of Yukime, the short-haired resident who is a Yukiana, isn't super Ayakashi-like, but Yukime quietly states that as a Yukiana, her power level is quite weak. The fox-eared resident points out the logic that the purpose of her power is to freeze humans since humans are mostly made out of water, causing Yukime to scream, demanding that she stop because she doesn't want to hear that. The fox-eared resident backs off, thinking she shouldn't have gone there, and offers a pleasant, by the way, to change the topic. With a new subject, the fox-eared resident addresses Ki directly, asking if she has done anything to bring them happiness, pointing out that as a shikawarashi is an Ayakashi that brings happiness to households, and Ki has only brought misfortune here. Ki, angered and defensive, shouts, I have, while the fox-eared resident challenges her to give an example. The tiny Ki appears to think for a moment, making a strained expression, but no example is forthcoming. The fox-eared resident grins at Ki's failure to answer, asking if she's sure she's not a Bakutanuki instead of as a shikawarashi, an accusation Ki denies, insisting she has just been slacking lately. Ki, standing on a low table and shouting, swears to bring nothing but happiness to this house from now on, prompting the fox-eared resident to clap and exclaim, Great! As Ki raises her arms in declaration. The cat-eared resident observes Ki, thinking she is bored again and going around causing trouble, but the fox-eared resident giggles and says that things just got a little more interesting and calls the situation perfect. Mahoro, running home carrying groceries, thinks about how she is really late and wonders if everyone is hungry, worrying about what she should do if Ki throws a tantrum. She enters the house and, to her surprise, sees Ki sitting on the floor, looking very serious, declaring that she will freeze. Mahoro is confused by Ki's serious expression and the way she bows low to her, welcoming her home. Ki then runs to help Mahoro, grabbing the bags and saying she will carry the groceries, but the contents immediately fall out, causing Mahoro to cry out that everything is falling out. The fox-eared resident watches Mahoro's confusion and asks, What happened to Ki? Shrugging off Mahoro's confused look with a casual, who knows? Ki, determined to help, tells Mahoro to sit down because Ki will do it, though Mahoro is hesitant, stating she has to make dinner and Ki's actions could start a fire and are dangerous. Ki, still determined, slams a pot lid down and, with an angry shout, declares that she is as a shikawarashi that brings happiness. Ki, looking focused and slightly menacing, is shown holding a gleaming kitchen knife. Mahoro, seeing Ki with the knife, looks on in horrified shock, shivering. Mahoro quickly scoops up Ki, holding her tightly to prevent her from using the knife, while the other Ayakashi peek around the corner of the fridge. As Mahoro tries to take the knife, a vegetable is chopped erratically in the air, prompting Mahoro to cry out and scold Ki that she can't wave a knife around like that, before commenting that her reaction was a bit too hard. Mahoro decides to take control, telling Ki that she will cut the vegetables and that Ki should do something even more important. Ki asks what it is, and Mahoro points to a bowl containing miso and mayo, asking Ki to mix up the deluxe special sauce. Ki looks disappointed that this is the important task, but Mahoro insists it is the most important part of tonight's dish. Even though it looks simple, it's actually really hard. Ki's face lights up as she realizes this is something only Ki can do to make Mahoro happy and be useful to Mahoro, and Mahoro gives her a big smile, confirming, this is something that only you can do. Ki now looks incredibly serious and focused, saying she will do her best and understands that she needs to be careful and not spill any. The other residents observe from the hallway, with the short-haired resident commenting that Mahoro-chan has become really good at dealing with Ki-chan, and the fox-eared resident agrees that she is exactly like Mother. Ki quickly finishes mixing the sauce and proudly announces to Mahoro that she is finished, to Mahoro's surprise, who thanks Ki with a big smile. Ki, beaming and radiating a sense of accomplishment, asks, what's next? Because she still wants to do more and more. Mahoro suggests something safer, asking if she should get Ki to clean the bath since dinner is almost finished, and Ki happily agrees. As Mahoro turns to stir the pot, a loud splash is heard, causing Mahoro to jolt and utter a distressed cry. The short-haired resident rushes in, calling out for Mahoro-chan and asking what happened. Mahoro, looking defeated, sees Ki standing on the counter, soaked and holding a dripping cleaning cloth, apparently having caused the splash, to which Mahoro sighs, "Oh no." Mahoro sits with a sad and defeated Ki, saying that she guesses it can't be helped and that Ki might be a bit too small to help, calling the situation another failure. Mahoro tells a disappointed Ki to be a good girl and wait for dinner, saying that she will do the rest. Ki looks up at Mahoro, asking why? Ki's eyes well up with tears as she asks if she isn't a Zashikiwarashi who makes people happy, because she thought Mahoro would be happy if Ki tried her best. Ki starts to sob, lamenting that she can't do anything and is a useless Zashikiwarashi. Mahoro looks at Ki, her eyes wide with concern at Ki's distress. Mahoro kneels down to comfort the sobbing Ki, realizing, "So that's what you were thinking." Mahoro gently pats Ki's head, addressing her tenderly as, "But, Ki." Mahoro smiles softly and tells Ki that she doesn't need to always try her best and that just being her usual self is good enough for me. Mahoro tells Ki to stop crying and blow her nose, before asking Ki to smile. Mahoro explains that Ki's smile is her happiness, and seeing her having fun brings a smile to her face, and that times like that make her the happiest. Mahoro, still smiling, confirms to Ki that if she smiles, that will make Mahoro happy. Mahoro tells Ki that this sentiment is not just for her, but it's the same with everyone in their family who cares about her. Ki, overjoyed by the revelation that her mere presence and happiness is what makes everyone happy, shouts, "Wow." Ki then leaps at Mahoro and gives her a big hug. Mahoro returns the hug, laughing softly, commenting that Ki returned back to being a spoiled child. The cat-eared resident, Nene, questions if the fox-eared resident thinks that Ayakashi are just regular pets, and the fox-eared resident, wiping a tear from her eye, jokes that the case is closed, and they all lived happily ever after, but Nene notes that the fox-eared resident started all of this. The fox-eared resident then questions if Nene doesn't seem like much of a Nikomid either, causing Nene to shout defensively, "But I am one," before the fox-eared resident asks what else Nene does, as Nene's list of being a cat, liking high places, Nikomanma and cramped spaces, is just what a normal cat does. Nene shouts for the fox-eared resident to shut up as the group wonders in confusion what a Nikomida is, and the fox-eared resident tells Nene to give her a minute. Mahoro arrives home from school with a cheerful, "I'm home," accompanied by a smiling girl named Emi. The other Ayakashi residents, the short-haired Yukaim, the tiny Ki, the fox-eared Kuko, and the cat-eared Nene, peer out in surprise. Nene, looking extremely agitated, stares at Mahoro's entrance. Mahoro and Emi sit with Nene, and Mahoro gently holds Nene's chin, smiling while Emi happily holds a squeaky hammer toy. Emi throws her head back and laughs loudly. Emi tells the group that she just came to hang out with them again and didn't expect to be offered to stay for dinner too. Emi then happily presents a box, announcing that she brought something with her today as a present, causing Yukaim to look at the spooky Kappa statue nearby and nervously shriek, "Another present?" Emi reveals a box filled with donuts, some decorated with faces, a sight that makes Yukaim and Kuko gasp, "Whoa." Ki happily notes that these are the ones that Mahoro won't buy for them from the convenience store, prompting Mahoro to hastily tell her not to say unnecessary things. Emi asks Mahoro if the reason she won't buy them is because Mahoro said if you eat them they will make you fat and ugly, and then asks Ki if she has never had donuts before. Ki, drooling slightly, is delighted to take one and politely says, "Thanks for the food." Ki devours the donut, munching happily and letting out a sound of pure pleasure. Ki's eyes sparkle as she encourages everyone else to have some because they are yummy, and the other residents agree to have one, saying that is great. Nene sits sullenly, rejecting the fox-eared resident's concern about her stomach hurting, and mumbles that she doesn't get it. Nene is internally frustrated, watching Mahoro talk so normally to Emi, wondering why Mahoro is suddenly getting along with her when she was angry about her being here last time. The cat-eared resident's frustration intensifies, thinking that although making a friend is a good thing for Mahoro, she feels a little upset even though nothing is wrong. Nene clenches her fists, grumbling and asking out loud what the heck this feeling is. Mahoro and the others notice Nene's behavior, with Kuko whispering that she now sees what Mahoro meant, as Mahoro asks Nene if her stomach hurts. Nene yells, "Hey!" as Mahoro ignores her request to not pet her and gently pats Nene's head, causing her ears to droop. Emi laughs loudly, saying Nene-chan is so funny, but Nene quickly denies it, calling Emi's assertion wrong and pointing out the girl is stressed, while Mahoro asks Nene if she wants to play with the toy since she may have a lot of built-up stress. Emi, undeterred, tries to pet Nene as well but Nene dodges her, demanding that she stop it and saying that Emi is gross. Nene shouts that it's not a stomach ache and that she is going for a walk, storming off, while Coco points out that the toilet isn't that way. The group concludes that Nene didn't like the toy very much and that Nene is just embarrassed and will come back right away, probably, while Emi thinks that she teased her a little too much. Nene walks away from the house, presumably on her walk. Nene sits outside alone in the dark, thinking that a cat's territory is quite small and she is bored. She thinks that it's a bit hard to go back right now, while still thinking about how Mahoro tried to pet her. Deciding to take a nap on the roof then, Nene climbs up and is soon asleep. Nene is shown standing alone against a bright, cloudy sky. A disembodied Mahoro smiles at Nene, waving and inviting everyone to get on the cloud she is floating on, causing Nene to look up and ask, "Huh?" The other residents are already sitting on the fluffy cloud, happily saying that they can't wait and are going on a trip, and Mahoro asks Nene if she's not coming. Mahoro, walking happily, calls out, "Sorry, I'll be right there." The group floats on the cloud, and Mahoro asks if everyone is aboard. The fox-eared resident tells Nene, "Sorry but you're not coming," which shocks Nene, who cries out, "Wait. I haven't got on yet." Mahoro looks at Nene with a simple smile and tells her that's because you're just a pet, a comment that makes Nene feel left out and strange. Nene stares in wide-eyed shock at Mahoro's words. Nene is startled into her full cat form, shouting, "Why am I returning to my cat form?" Nene, as a cat, screams, "Wait!" to the others floating away in the sky on the cloud. Nene suddenly wakes up with a thud and a scream, realizing the whole bizarre experience was just a dream. Still panting, Nene looks around, calling out, "Nene?" Mahoro finds Nene and immediately rushes to give her a big hug. Nene, surprised by the sudden hug, yells, "Mahoro, what are you doing?" Mahoro tearfully asks why Nene was hiding up there and says she was really worried because Nene never came home. Mahoro cries, relieved that she found her, which absolutely shocks Nene. Mahoro cries into Nene's shoulder and apologizes for worrying her, and Nene, completely flustered, tells her to stop crying and says she won't disappear anymore. Mahoro stops crying and says, "Okay," while Nene is internally astonished, realizing this is the exact opposite of what happened in my dream. Mahoro continues to hug Nene, gently patting her back. Nene pulls away and asks Mahoro to stop petting her, asking what she is talking about, and pointing out that Mahoro is treating her like a pet again. Mahoro smiles genuinely and tells Nene that she is an important part of this family, and asks, "Isn't it obvious?" Nene blushes, taken aback by Mahoro's sincere statement. Emi, running up, joyfully shouts, "Nene, I found you," and is relieved. Emi explains she was so worried that she couldn't go home, and Nene is surprised to see that Emi is still here. The short-haired resident, Yukaim, then says that it's not safe for people who can sense spirits to be walking around alone at night, and asks Emi-san how she is going to get home, realizing how dark it got outside. Nene is touched, thinking this all happened because of her, and apologizes to Emi for causing her a lot of trouble. Emi smiles and apologizes as well for making fun of her, saying she caused a lot of trouble as well. Nene and Emi both apologize to each other again, their misunderstanding resolved. Mahoro asks Emi if she would like to have a sleepover since it's okay with her. Nene looks at Emi and Mahoro with a sharp, surprised expression. Emi, delighted, beams and asks Mahoro if she is really sure and if she really means it. Emi agrees that a sleepover should be alright with her folks and Mahoro adds a condition that it's okay with her parents. Emi is thrilled and says she can't wait, to which Mahoro smiles and says that is great, mentioning that they still haven't had dinner yet. Nene looks on, a dark aura of annoyance surrounding her as Emi and Mahoro smile happily at each other, suggesting Nene is getting that same upset feeling again. Nene glares, clenching her teeth, and realizes that she is getting that weird feeling again. Kuko, the fox-eared resident, approaches Emi, stating there is something she wants to try. Emi, intrigued, looks up and asks what it is. Kuko points a finger like a gun, making a lift gesture with her hand. Kuko exclaims, "Baekhyun," as Emi throws her hands up and cries, "Ga." Mahoro, holding some bowls, walks in and asks what the others are doing. the fox-eared resident explains that Emi got the impression of a Kansai-style greeting from her joke, which the other residents found awesome. Emi, now wearing an apron, is standing over a takoyaki griddle with a cooking pick in her hand, having prepared a meal for everyone. The residents, Kuko, Mahoro, Yukaime, Emi, and Nene, all gather around the freshly cooked meal, all of them exclaiming wow. Mahoro has prepared a delicious-looking spread of savory dishes. Ki notes that the food is better than what they usually have and that Mahoro wasn't stingy this time, while Emi praises that it looks delicious. The group sits down at the dining table, all joining together to say, thanks for the food. Emi eats the meal heartily, munching on the food. Emi smiles and happily says the food is yummy and gives a thumb up, making Mahoro's heart thump. Emi continues to munch happily, causing Mahoro to smile in relief and thank God. Emi, satisfied, says that this is what home tastes like, prompting a disgruntled Nene to point out that Emi doesn't even live in this house. Emi ignores Nene's comment and tries to rub cheeks with her, telling Nenichi not to be so cold, but Nene recoils and tells her not to stick to her or give her weird nicknames. The fox-eared Kuko watches them and notes with a bite of food that she is glad they somehow made up with each other, as Yukaime chuckles. Ki silently glances away from her plate. Mahoro quickly catches Ki trying to leave her vegetables, telling, hey, Ki, that she is leaving behind her carrots again. Ki complains that she doesn't want to eat them now and is saving them for later, an excuse Mahoro points out she said last time, and she still didn't eat them. Mahoro insists that Ki eat the carrots, explaining that she even simmered them so that they're soft enough for her to eat. Ki looks resistant, sighing, ugh, but Mahoro gently asks for just one bite. Ki reluctantly takes a bite as Mahoro smiles and pats her head, calling her a good girl. Emi, observing the interaction, has sparkles in her eyes. Emi smiles while Mahoro looks surprised by her reaction. Mahoro asks Emi if something is wrong, to which Emi replies, it's nothing, just that she thought it's nice to sit together and have a meal, which Mahoro is surprised to hear, as Emi states there aren't many days where her family and she sit together for dinner. Emi, looking momentarily surprised, then smiles brightly. Emi explains that her family is not that they don't get along with each other but that they are just really busy. Emi closes her eyes and smiles, nonetheless emphasizing. Emi reflects that it's quite amazing that Ayakashi and humans have nothing to do with each other yet are able to sit around the dining table together. Emi continues to eat happily, thinking that stuff like that really happens in their world. Mahoro is happy to note that Emi eats surprisingly well, as Emi exclaims that the stew and the miso soup are really good. Later, Mahoro is shown cleaning the dishes in the sink. Kuko expresses her surprise to Mahoro that she suddenly brought a friend home, and now they're going to have a sleepover. Mahoro explains that she invited her here as a thank you for helping me with some things that happened at school and also because Emi-chan was in a pinch. Mahoro adds that Emi wanted to become friends and she knew that she'd be delighted to see them all again. Kuko quickly clarifies, saying they don't hate her, but she asks Mahoro if she thinks they hate her being here, suddenly realizing that Nene has been in a pretty bad mood lately. Kuko chews on a snack and states that she thinks it's a good thing and it's fun having her around. Kuko then waves away Mahoro's concern and tells her not to worry about Nene-san either, while Nene and Emi play on the floor with a game console. Later that night, Mahoro is blow-drying her long hair. Emi, sitting on the futon, watches Mahoro and calls out to her. Emi compliments Mahoro, saying she got really nice hair, to which Mahoro responds, asking if Emi thinks so, and giving a compliment back to Emi that she has really nice hair too. Emi laughs, saying people say that a lot, but adds that her curly hair is too thin and it's impossible to brush properly, but Mahoro says that even so, it's really rare to find a beautiful, blonde half-Japanese person. Emi clarifies that she is technically not a Halfie because her mom is 100% German, and her dad is more or less a Halfie, so that means there is a lot more German blood in her than Japanese. Emi clenches her fist, declaring that even if that's the case, she's Japanese-born and bred and her heart will always be with Japan, a statement Mahoro acknowledges while Emi celebrates Viva White Rice. The girls settle down in the single futon, with Mahoro apologizing that they couldn't get another futon on such short notice, but Emi says this is what sleepovers are all about and that she is too nervous to sleep. Mahoro can't sleep either, thinking she might not get a wink of sleep tonight, and Emi asks if she can tell her something. Emi confesses that she couldn't say this in front of everyone, but when she was smaller, she was afraid of Ayakashi. Emi recounts that anyone would be scared if they saw a strange, white, blurry thing, and Mahoro agrees, thinking that's true. Emi then quietly says she couldn't forgive herself for her fear, but at the same time, Emi adds that she thinks it's a waste to just decide that something you don't know is scary, and to just leave it at that. Emi smiles, stating that she's so glad to have met the Ayakashi and is happy that she was able to become Mahoro's friend too. Mahoro listens to Emi's honest confession, her eyes wide with understanding. Images of a happy and smiling Emi flash in Mahoro's mind. Mahoro whispers that she is glad that Emi became her friend too. Emi sighs and Mahoro realizes Emi is sleeping. Mahoro smiles a little, astonished that Emi is already asleep. Mahoro looks up at the ceiling and whispers, "Good night." Mahoro is shown wide awake, while Emi is fast asleep and stretching, confirming that Mahoro can't sleep. The story opens with a cheerful group shot of Mahoro, Emi, Nene, Kuko, holding key, and Yukaime. The scene shifts to the bustling downtown Asakusa, Tokyo. Asakusa is described as a popular tourist spot where you can feel the essence of Japan and is an area scattered with shrines and historic monuments. The girls are walking through the famous Nakamai's shopping street, which Emi finds amazing. Emi observes the crowd and remarks that it is her first time coming to Asakusa and there sure are a lot of people here. Mahoro explains that the crowd is to be expected since it is a public holiday after all, as Emi happily notices so many foreigners and wonders if they are students on a school field trip. Despite being surrounded by her friends, Mahoro finds herself overwhelmed, thinking that she is still no good with crowds. Emi, excitedly pointing out the sweets, exclaims that they have niyoyaki, while Mahoro sighs, thinking she wants to live in the countryside in the future. The Ayakashi residents look concerned, with Yukaime asking Kuko if something is wrong, as the fox-eared Kuko stares intently ahead, finding the situation amazing. Kuko explains that up until now, whenever they were walking around with Mahoro-san, people looking at her from the side would think of her as quite lonely. Kuko then grabs Mahoro's arm, stating that with the addition of Emi-san by her side, she can finally look normal while visiting tourist destinations, and that is what's amazing. Yukaime, thinking about Mahoro's friend, tells Emi that she knows she can be a really weird person and a bit troublesome at times and asks her to please take care of Mahoro-san's friend. Emi looks on in slight confusion, while Mahoro, pulling away from Kuko, shouts, "Hey!" Emi suddenly grabs Mahoro's hand and tugs, exclaiming, "Maharon! Let's eat that!" The girls find themselves in a long line outside a shop called Kagetsudo, with Emi surprised at the long line. Emi explains that the shop is famous for its melon pan and that it caught her eye when she saw it on TV, identifying it as the item they must buy. Kuko, standing behind Mahoro with Ki clinging to her, quietly drools, saying the smell is so wonderful and that it is a waste not to at least try it, prompting Mahoro to realize she has always skipped it because there's always a crowd. Mahoro concedes, saying, "Okay, I get it," and offers to buy some for everyone if they just wait over there. Mahoro notices a picture of an anmitsu on the menu, noting that it looks delicious and even comes with matcha green tea. Emi is disappointed, saying it would be a problem having the Ayakashi inside the store and that they don't do takeout either. Emi, however, leans in close and whispers with a mischievous smile, suggesting they keep it a secret from them and come again next time. Mahoro, blushing slightly, smiles and agrees to the plan. They reach the front of the line quickly, which Emi notes was fast. Mahoro realizes why time flew by so fast. She explains to Emi that time really flew by because we were having so much fun talking to each other. As they stand at the front of the line, people around them are chattering, commenting that the two girls look like cute idols or are here for some TV show. The waiting Ayakashi observe the attention Mahoro and Emi are getting, with Kuko noting that people seem to think that they're part of some TV show, and Yukaime commenting that those two really become the center of attention. Mahoro and Emi return with their bags of snacks, apologizing that it took so long but confirming that they bought a lot, which makes Ki cheer, why? Emi suggests they eat them here while they're still fresh, reasoning that although they can't really relax in this crowd, Asakusa is a place where you can relax. Mahoro points out a spot nearby, saying it looks like they can sit down and relax over here, next to a traditional Japanese structure. Kuko, upon seeing the structure, recognizes it as an Inari shrine at the bottom of Sensuji Temple, which she didn't realize was there. Kuko then reveals that there is a pair of twin Inari sisters that are enshrined here, looking around in confusion that she doesn't see them here. Emi is thrilled to hear this and asks if that means there are other Ayakashi besides them, to which Kuko confirms that there are plenty of them in Asakusa. Yukaime says she hopes she can see them again as it has been a while Emi excitedly states she wants to meet them as Kuko corrects her that technically, those two belong in the god category. Kuko says she wonders why they're away, and the tiny Ki suggests that they're scared of Kuko so they're hiding. Yukime suggests to the fox-eared resident that if she wants to meet them no matter what, Kuko should do something. Nene, the cat-eared resident, says that in times like these, she has to lure them with an offering and produces a melon pan. Kuko is skeptical, saying she doubts something like that will work as they're probably not like Nene or Ki. The fox-eared Kuko explains that the word inari is written with the kanji for rice, and that means they are gods associated with food and harvesting, leading to the logical conclusion that they are beings that love to eat. Nene, unconvinced, mumbles, "But even if you say that," while munching on a small piece of food. Mahoro is shocked to see that Kuko's reasoning was correct, as two miniature fox-eared figures appear on the end of a long fishing pole, exclaiming, "You caught them!" The two miniature inari figures, Aki and Kuki, look up in surprise at being caught with the food. Kuko quickly swoops in and grabs the caught Aki, much to the miniature fox's distress, shouting, "Gah!" Kuko tries to hand the struggling Aki to Emi, but Mahoro intervenes, asking Kuko to do that a little more peacefully. Emi exclaims that the miniature fox is super cute. Aki struggles against Kuko, angrily shouting that Kuko is a NET kitsune and demanding she let go. The other captured miniature fox, Kuki, glares at Kuko and tells the stupid kitsune to let go of Aki-chan, while Kuko quietly growls in frustration. Yukime and Ki happily observe the scene, with Ki cuddling close to Yukime, as the miniature foxes complain that the NT kitsune is bullying them. Kuko turns to Yukime and asks why she doesn't care about her when she is a fox just like them. Kuko, holding Aki, then accuses the miniature fox of being a bad kitsune because she uses that terrifying power. Kuki, the other miniature fox, snaps back at Kuko, saying that she did something bad after all and telling Nene-san and Emi-san to calm down. Kuko is outraged by the accusation of having a disgusting past. The miniature fox Kuki then narrates a story about the legend of Kuko. A long time ago, a lost kitsune wandered into a farm village, was bullied and injured by curious rascals, and in punishment for their actions, the kitsune unleashed 9 days of heavy rain and floods which resulted in the village being wiped away. The miniature fox concludes the story, stating that the legend of Kuko was born based on the events in that village, causing Nene to shudder. Kuko denies the story, saying that's just a rumor, but the miniature foxes continue to walk toward her, slowly, and Nene says the fact that Kuko can do it is scaring her and she wouldn't do that no matter how angry she was. Kuko, distracted and trying to talk her way out of the situation, suddenly realizes the two little foxes are gone. Mahoro comforts Kuko, saying that if it's her, the little foxes will become her friends in no time at all, and Kuko agrees that if she ever meets them again, she'll definitely make them her friends. Kuko is motivated by Mahoro's kind words. A small moment of disappointment hits when they realize that the melon pan got cold, but then Emi lets out a cry of panic, yelling, "What is it this time?" as she sees Kuko's frustrated reaction. Emi, already biting into the cold treat, says that it still tastes good even though it's cold and is crunchy on the outside, soft on the inside, and yummy. Emi is thoroughly enjoying the day, finding it fun. Emi summarizes her joyful experience, walking around Asakusa together, eating good food, and meeting new Ayakashi. Emi looks at Mahoro with sparkling eyes and declares, "I'm in love with Asakusa." Yukime laughs and says she is glad that Emi likes it here, as Mahoro smiles and continues to munch on her melon pan. Mahoro admits that the overly bustling town has too many people in it, but she likes it too because she is with everyone here. Mahoro looks surprised at her own thought. Mahoro smiles, realizing that even if it was just a little, today was the day she began to like this town. Meanwhile, the two little Inari foxes are seen, with one telling the other to give the tail to her because she'll break her bones next time, while the other one is angry that the kitsune is getting away with her cute little tail. Ki is happy that their misadventure is over. An omake begins with Mahoro, Emi, and Ki discussing nicknames, with Emi saying her specialty is thinking up nicknames. Emi suggests Maharan as a nickname for Mahoro, but Ki rejects the nickname Kikomu. Emi then suggests Yuki for Yukime and Nenichi for Nene, but Ki rejects Kiyen and Kiki, saying they don't sound cute and that Kiki sounds like a monkey. Emi finds the naming effort so hard and wonders what's wrong with names that aren't cute, as the other Ayakashi just call her Ne-san. The chapter begins with a cheerful illustration of the main residents: Yukime, Kuko, Nene, Mahoro, and Ki. A brightly colored illustration features Kuko eating a candy apple and Mahoro holding a bag of goldfish, both wearing traditional yukata. A close-up, color illustration shows the smiling Yukime peering around a door with a worried-looking Kuko. The narrative provides character introductions for Kuko, a prank-loving kitsune who can conjure illusions, Ki, as the shikawarashi who loves to eat, and Mayatsuka Mahoro, the 16-year-old manager of Ayakashiko who has the ability to see ghosts and took over the job after her grandmother passed away. The introductions continue with Nene, a Nikomata who has just become an Ayakashi, and Yukime, a Yukiana who feels most comfortable inside cold, dark refrigerators. A large, traditional Japanese house is shown, presumably Ayakashiko. The large, traditional Japanese house is shown again. A hand places a framed photograph of a man in a business suit onto a wall with a soft thunk. A smiling elderly woman asks the man in the photograph, "What do you think, dear? It's a nice place, isn't it?" The elderly woman, sitting alone at a round table, comments that the house might be a little too big for an elderly person living by herself. She turns and looks concerned, contemplating what they should do about the house. The Ayakashi trio of Kuko, Yukime, and Ki peer into the house. Kuko laments that the house got a new tenant and that they thought they had found the perfect empty house as well, calling the situation bad luck. Yukime says it can't be helped and asks if they should just leave, but Ki yells, "No," insisting that Ki-san is this house's Zashikiwarashi, so it's fine to leave her here, and that Kuko and Yukime have to stay. Kuko sighs, but agrees, saying they should just see what happens before they decide on anything, as Yukime agrees, acknowledging that it'll be trouble if Ki-chan's mood gets any worse. The elderly woman decides that the house is perfect and that she will use this big room as a calligraphy classroom, saying she can't wait. The house is completely silent. The elderly woman opens the sliding door. She stands still, listening to the silence of the large house. The woman smiles sadly, thinking that it's going to be lonely for someone as old as her to be living alone. A loud clatter suddenly breaks the silence. The elderly woman looks out the open door, surprised, asking if someone is there. A small plate of 3 manju with the kanji for luck on them has been left at the entrance. The fox-eared Kuko is shown looking over her shoulder, deciding that it definitely seems like someone or something she can't see is living here, and it looks like she won't be so lonely after all. Kuko thinks aloud that she hopes they can get along with each other. The sun rises over the traditional house with the sound of chirping birds. The elderly woman looks happily surprised. The elderly woman finds flowers on the plate instead of manju, exclaiming, "Oh my!" and that the sight is, "How splendid." Mahoro points out to the cat-eared resident that they are pretty flowers. The fox-eared resident, Kuko, explains that they were blooming in the garden. Mahoro smiles, acknowledging that Kuko does some nice things, sometimes, and Kuko explains that she thought the flowers would like them. Kuko turns and offers a flower to Mahoro, saying, "Here, these are for Mahoro-san." Mahoro is shocked, wondering, but, so suddenly? Yukime and Ki stand happily beside Mahoro, with Yukime saying, "Thank you for always giving us delicious food." Mahoro, blushing deeply, accepts the flower with a quiet, "You're welcome." Kuko asks Mahoro if they can have steak tonight, suggesting that accommodating their simple request might not be a bad idea once in a while, and Ki cheers, "Really? Hooray!" The chapter begins with an illustration of the twin fox spirits, Aki and Kuki, bowing politely. A single panel shows Mahoro leaving the Ayakashiko, saying, "Well then, I'm off." Mahoro, with Ki hanging on her back and Kuko smiling beside her, tells the others to have a good day. Mahoro hides behind a wooden bench near the house, saying, "Hide." Aki and Kuki are shown creeping up, peering from under the wooden porch. Kuki, the more cautious of the two, asks Aki if she is sure it's okay for them to sneak in because this is the Inti Kitsune's headquarters. Aki, shaking with fear, reminds Kuki that terrible things are going to happen to them again if they get caught, but she insists there is a good reason why they've come here especially to deal with that Inti Kitsune. Kuki, the twin who was the most afraid of being caught, now understands Aki's plan, exclaiming she gets it now. Aki explains that up until now, they've never been able to fight back against the Net Kitsune when she would suddenly invade their territory, so they will have the overwhelming advantage if they invade her instead. Kuki agrees, saying gods like them cannot afford to keep losing to that Net Kitsune, and they will get their revenge and beat her before she beats them. The two fox spirits cheer, proclaiming, "Let's do this," and that today, they'll show her the power of God's hammer. Mahoro and Nene overhear the twins' conversation. Nene comments that Mahoro is always so lively in these situations as Mahoro plots, saying it's 1,000 years too early for them to be outwitting her and wondering how she should turn the tables. Yukime, the short-haired resident, enters the hallway, still waking up and shaking off sleepiness. Yukime, yawning, greets the residents with a sleepy good morning, asking what Kuko and Nene are doing. Kuko then tells Yukime that the twin fox spirits, Aki-san and Kuki-san, are loitering at the front of the house and asks Yukaim to go welcome them in, a task Yukaim happily accepts, thinking that's great and that she wonders if they came to play. Coco is shown with a mischievous grin. Coco abruptly pulls Nene and tells her, "Let's go hide," causing Nene to ask why they are hiding, while Coco assures her not to worry too much. The little fox spirits enter the house and sit at the table with Yukaim, who politely welcomes them and asks them to take a seat. Aki and Kuki look nervous and whisper, realizing they got found out and wondering what they are going to do now, as Yukaim walks away. Kuki quickly calms Aki down, noting that Yukaim-chan is kind, and since the kitsune is missing, being found out by Yukaim isn't a problem for them, so they should look around a little more. Nene is now hiding behind a door with Coco, complaining that it reeks in here and asking why they are hiding. Coco complains that Nene is really hard to influence and wishes she could have jumped out and scared the twins when they least expected it. Nene whispers that Coco is evil and that the twins looked like they seriously hated her, but Coco says the surprise attack would be worth her while and insists that Nene doesn't go to sleep because those sisters are really funny. Yukaim returns, apologetically telling the twin fox spirits that Coco-chan and Nene-chan wandered off somewhere and that she is going to go look for them, asking the twins to play with Ki-chan in the meantime. Ki, the Zashikawarashi, is delighted and smiles brightly at the twins. Ki, all smiles, enthusiastically asks the twins to come on and play and asks what they want to do. The twin fox spirits reject Ki, saying they are not playing because they are very busy, and tell the children to leave them alone. Ki asks the fox spirits if they aren't children too, but they angrily state that they are Wakemitama, and that's why they have small bodies, and that they are not children. Ki then shows them a box of chocolate and biscuits, declaring that she doesn't have to share these with them, which makes the twins look on in silent shock. The twins, seeing the sweets, exclaim, "What?" in unison. Coco observes from the doorway and asks Nene if those so-called gods are idiots for being won over by a child, a sentiment Nene agrees with. The twins, caught, apologize and beg for just one bite of the sweets, which Ki finally allows, saying, "Fine. If you insist." The tiny fox spirits happily eat the offered sweets, noting that the sweets are pretty yummy, and Mahoro observes that even though she doesn't really get it, she thinks it is amazing. The three little figures, Ki, Aki and Kuki, are shown smiling and happily drinking juice together. The three little figures roll around the floor with a remote, asking if they want to watch TV. The three little figures are then shown sitting peacefully together, enjoying the feeling of being able to relax. The twin fox spirits confess that they don't even care about revenge anymore and that this place is perfect when the kitsune isn't here. Yukaim returns and apologizes to the twins that she wasn't able to find Coco-chan and Nene-chan, noticing that they were here just a moment ago, finding it strange. The two fox spirits, who are now hiding from Yukaim, quickly invite her to play with them instead and tell her not to worry about that kitsune. The fox spirits tell Yukaim that playing house with the toy set that Mahoro bought is a bit too childish for gods like them, but they guess they can accompany her for a while. Yukaim is thrilled and says, "Then let's all play together." The little figures are now all happily playing house. Nene, seeing Coco about to sneak off, asks why she is leaving. Coco says she can't disturb that peaceful atmosphere and asks if it is okay for her to leave. Nene demands Coco not to leave because it's lonely in here, yelling that Coco is creeping her out. Coco trips over herself trying to escape Nene. Ki and the two fox spirits look shocked as Yukaim discovers the pair hiding in the cupboard. Yukaim asks the startled Coco and Nene what they were doing in there, while Nene pretends not to hear her. The twin fox spirits, having escaped again, are terrified when they see the furious Coco, shouting, "She's here." Coco lets out a frustrated roar and stomps toward the twins. The twins dash away in fear. Yukaim and Nene observe, with Yukaim sadly noting, "Oh no. They ran away." The Ayakashi sit at the table, pouring drinks, with Coco wondering why the twins came here in the first place. Coco continues to look gloomy. Nene, looking at Coco's glum expression, tells Coco that if she wants to get along with them, she should try being honest with herself. Coco looks surprised and asks Nene what that's supposed to mean, telling her she's the last person she wants to be hearing that from. Coco sits on the porch with Yukaim leaning quietly against her shoulder. Mahoro is shown preparing for the day, quickly pulling her hair up into a ponytail. She tightens the bow on her apron and confirms that she is all ready for the day ahead. Mahoro prepares a meal, squishing the rice in her hands and cooking fried food that sizzles in the pan. Mahoro tastes the food with chopsticks, declaring the seasoning perfect. Yukaim stands beside Mahoro, who jumps in surprise at her sudden presence, while Mahoro finishes packing a full, colorful bento box. Yukaim greets Mahoro, noting that she has been waking up earlier than usual lately. Mahoro's finished bento box is sparkling and filled with many kinds of food. Mahoro chuckles and suggests she is addicted to making bento boxes, a change in habit that Coco observes and notes. Despite the side dishes being brown as always, the bento looks a lot better than normal. Mahoro proudly presents another plate of food to Coco, saying, "Look, this is your lunch for today." Mahoro is startled when she looks at the time, yelling that she has to wake everyone up for breakfast, while Coco smiles and says, "Thank you." Coco watches Mahoro leave, murmuring that she wonders what's happening with her. The school bell rings loudly, signaling the start of lunch, as Mahoro's classmates chat about going to the canteen. Mahoro is looking down at the beautifully wrapped bento box on her desk when Emmy suddenly calls out to her. Emmy, smiling brightly and holding a bag of bread, asks Mahoro to have lunch together with her. Mahoro, taken by surprise, replies, "Okay." Mahoro stares down at Emmy's lunch of sweetbreads, thinking it is sweetbreads again, as Emmy happily says she is so glad she sprinted to the canteen before a crowd started to form and was even able to buy some melon pan. Mahoro, with a frustrated glare, insists there is no way that can be good for her health, and that the nutritional imbalance is concerning. Mahoro struggles with her urge to share her healthy lunch, internally debating whether she wants to share her lunch or avoid sounding like a doting grandmother by worrying about Emmy's nutritional balance. Mahoro silently grumbles that she is dying to know about her nutritional balance but feels powerless to say anything because it's school, and there's no way she can say what she's thinking with so many eyes staring at her. Emmy looks at Mahoro, surprised by her behavior, while Mahoro tries to play it off, saying Emmy's lunch is looking delicious as usual, but privately admitting, "This is so vexing." Emmy laughs, explaining that she can't cook and that her mom is busy in the mornings, so all she gets to eat for lunch is bread. Mahoro is moved by Emmy's admission, taking a deep breath and finally offering, "Then I'll share my lunch with you," asking her to have some if she likes. Emmy looks up at Mahoro, surprised by the offer. Mahoro quickly invents an excuse, saying she made too much and can't finish it all, which Emmy happily accepts, saying she won't hold back then. Mahoro turns away, embarrassed, as Emmy lets out a sound of pure delight. Mahoro's body wobbles with embarrassment as Emmy happily eats the piece of food she offered. Mahoro feeds Emmy directly with her chopsticks. Emmy closes her eyes in pleasure, saying the fish is fluffy and the seasoning is perfect and that she is glad Mahoro likes it. Mahoro smiles to herself, thinking about how she is going to have to make a lot more for tomorrow. Coco bursts into the room, jolting Mahoro and announcing that she knows why Mahoro is in an awfully good mood today. Coco reveals that Mahoro has been eating her bento with Emmy-san and is even making fancy bento boxes to share with her friends, joking that Mahoro has a girly side. Mahoro protests that she is just worried about Emmy-chan's nutrition because Emmy eats sweetbreads every day, but Coco playfully asks if that doesn't still mean she's making it for her sake. Coco's blunt question causes Mahoro to blush deeply. Coco teases Mahoro, saying it somewhat feels like she's an auntie working in a cafeteria, but the other residents think Mahoro is finally doing something normal high school girls would do. Coco pats Mahoro's head, saying, "Good for you, good for you." Mahoro blushes furiously as Coco ruffles her hair. Mahoro tells Coco to stop grinning and asks if she is trying to make fun of her. Mahoro, flustered, tells Coco to go somewhere else, as a smiling Yukime watches Coco run out of the room, complaining that the bubbles are flying everywhere. Coco returns to the quiet house where Nene and Ki are sleeping. Yukime comments that Mahoro has changed a little after becoming friends with Emmy-chan, calling it something they should be glad about. Coco looks at Yukime with a confused expression. Yukime smiles gently, wondering if Coco is not feeling just a tad bit lonesome because of Mahoro's new friend. Coco looks down at her food, watching Mahoro happily with her friends in her mind. Coco smiles slightly, conceding that perhaps she is lonely, concluding that this is probably what it feels like to be a parent. The next day at school, Mahoro is looking at her bento, concerned that she packed too much. Another girl approaches Mahoro, asking if she would like to eat lunch together, as Emmy jumps up in the background and says she'll probably finish it all because she eats a lot more than Mahoro would expect. Mahoro is surprised by the sudden invitation. Emmy is thrilled, saying, "For sure. Let's eat together." Mahoro feels hesitant about eating with a larger group, thinking that even Emmy-chan would prefer to eat with everyone else rather than eat with a gloomy person like her, but accepts the situation since she is already used to eating by herself. Mahoro is concerned about the large amount of food she made, noting that it will be a waste if she can't finish all this food. Mahoro is startled when someone calls out her nickname, Maharan. Mahoro is shocked to see Emmy and another girl standing at her desk. Emmy tells her to take a seat over here. Emi's friend asks Mahoro if she is sure about accepting the invitation, and Mahoro is shocked to hear that the other girl has invited her too. Emi's friend happily confirms that she can eat with them. Emi smiles and gestures enthusiastically for Mahoro to come over. Mahoro is overwhelmed and blushing from the attention and kindness. Emi, now sitting with Mahoro, asks how Mahoro could have been so tight-lipped about her new friend, while her friend tells Mahoro not to freeze up on her. Emi's friend looks at Mahoro's large, multi-tiered lunchbox and notes that Mahoro's bento box has evolved and that the number of people she's feeding has increased. Mahoro, blushing, waves goodbye to her friend, telling her that the bento is for all of them to eat together, a comment that surprises her friend.